up, my beautiful gemstones? Happy Wednesday, and I am very, very sorry that I'm late, but I do go late when I have to make sure everyone fits in. Most of the time, you got to remember I am only human and not a machine. So thank you guys so much for being patient, those of you that were, and I appreciate you all. I just have a few very, very quick announcements, and then we're going to move right into the reading, so don't worry. The first announcement is that while I do not have everything that's on the website, so I'm not putting the website on just yet, I do have my manifestation intention / empowerment / holiday cheer homemade sprays back and ready to be delivered for the holidays. I have crystal kits and I have one size spiritual helper boxes for $60 a piece. That includes shipping, a spray, 4-ounce spray, crystals, incense, and all kinds of other bits and bobs that I decide to put in. And it's all really cool stuff. It all focuses on the mystical, magical community and channel that is me. So please put your orders in if you are interested. Also, my new book, Shadow Entities, Sleep Paralysis, and Beyond, is available on Amazon, Kindle, and paperback, as well as my other 2 books. And if you want an autographed copy of any of them, please email me, GemmaJadeParanormal@gmail.com, and I will get it sent right out to you. And as of Monday, December 5th, no more pre-recorded content on this channel. So what I'm doing is on Mondays and Thursdays every week, barring anything crazy happening, of course, just like with regular uploads, Ghostdragonzw and I from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time are going to be bringing the topics to you guys in a live stream format, which means the last pre-recorded video that I put out was about the men in white. So going forward, how we would do that is from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, our topic of discussion will be probably 2 topics because we're doing 2 hours, men in white and underwater submarine phenomenon, etc. I'll bring a topic and he'll bring one, or I'll bring 2 topics and we'll get together and we'll discuss. And I just think because we have such a great time in this live community, it'll be so much easier on me. It'll lighten my workload. And the reason I want to do that is because that old channel, Moon Bear Oracle, that I asked you guys to subscribe to and didn't do much on, I'm planning on doing monthly / anytime readings for each and every astrological sign every single month, possibly throughout the weeks. And going to get that channel up and moving. Live Intuitive Oracle will stay on this channel until further notice, and I don't plan on changing that anytime soon. If someone said Saturday ? No, I said nothing about Saturday. I actually said Monday, December 5th. I think that's the 5th, right? Yes, Monday, December 5th will be the first one, barring, like I said, anything crazy happening. It'll be Mondays and Thursdays, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time going forward with the live topic discussion content. This backdrop, thank you, Miss Smoochy. This was my Christmas present. I am putting up a Christmas backdrop soon, but I'm going to save this one and bring it back a little bit later after the Christmas holiday. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Miss Smoochy. It's a little on the one side because it's just a teeny tiny, like 2 inches shorter in length than the other one that I had. So you can see a little bit of my wall, but it is what it is. And that's what it is. I also got most of my Oracle decks back. So I have a few different ones tonight than the ones I've been normally using. Oh, hey, Miss Peggy, Michigan UFO sighting. So let me go through, say hi to everybody, and then we'll just get this party started and start right on with the list.
Are you ready?
No, I got to say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
That's why I said, let me say, oh, I didn't bring him in because he's right here. So I was like thinking, okay, let's bring in the man of the hour too, because without him, we don't have much of a show. You can see my light up in the corner there. We'll fix that later. I just didn't want to leave you guys waiting anymore. So see if they can hear you through my mic.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
He was getting feedback with his mic, which is weird because we didn't get feedback last time we were in the same room. We were right next to each other.
I can try and see what happens.
Okay. The cat and Edna. Oh, I'm so happy to see you back. I was so worried about you. MDMC. Nice to see you. Getting comfortable under those covers.
Okay.
Smoochy, I definitely agree. And I've got to say the Natalia Barnett case, or Barnett, I think that was her last name, case is one of the most, like, in my comments, cases that, like, it just, I keep getting comments of people like ripping each other's throats out, with one school being she's not lying, the other school being that she is, and they go at it. I mean, I've had to block people because of the responses they were giving, and being so disrespectful to other subscribers. Your opinion is valid, your opinion is important, and I value it, but never when you're attacking and threatening other people in my comment section. But yes, that was that is the case that people argue the most over. The other one was Aaron Gillern, but after his mother threatened me and harassed me for weeks, I just took those down, and hence the reason I really don't do true crime anymore. Blue Crossroads and Shauna, what's up? Again, I'm sorry about the wait. The Bat Mom, so good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. Jennifer Bowman, Eris Mana, Larry A., thank you so much. Just got your donation through Cash App. Richard Elmore. Nutslap, what's up, yo? Madison, hi. Vixen Doe. Oh, all of my regular lovelies. You guys are so sweet. Kirby is 100. So good to see you too. Tomorrow is my daughter's 14th birthday party. She's doing another murder mystery. This time it's 18th century Italy, and someone is mysteriously murdered at a masquerade ball. My character's name is Bluebell, and I hope I end up being the murderer this year. Jilly Doom, what's up, girl? The cat. I think I said hello to you already, but I want to say hello to you again. I definitely appreciate all of you guys so much. Ann Palmer, Shelly Montgomery. Who else? It's our usual crew, and I'm so good with that. What was actually happening? Jules Enigma, hello. Ralph and Cassie Francis. I was waiting for a very important phone call that came late. Paranormal Pixie Lara, ufologist, Michigan UFO sightings and paranormal encounters. Wayne and Michelle, welcome, guys. By the way, I shared on Facebook, I shared on YouTube, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to share it again. My interview with Wayne and Michelle from last week, I think it was. It just aired this week, and it was incredible. Like, I never listen to my own interviews, or most of the time I don't. Even watching myself on Paraflix was cringy because I felt weird. Not with them. It's so comfortable. Ghost Dragons and I listened to it in the car, like on the way to do our like Walmart shopping and like to the mall and stuff. I had to hear it because they just bring out this side of me where I feel totally comfortable. They're another channel, a friend's channel that I think should have way more subscribers than they do. So if you're not subscribed over there, please go on over and check it out. And I will reshare. Yes, he is still raiding my fridge until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, actually. Beautiful Madison. Thank you so much. You thought I was a goddess. Thank you. You know, I'm wearing a shirt that says Self-Love Club, and I've been trying to stay in that mind frame lately, and you guys really do make it easy. Tracy Tritton. Peggy, hi. Yes, the backdrop is cool because Smoochy, no offense to you guys, is probably my coolest subscriber. I'm just saying. As RJ would say, she's a cool dude. We are all cool dudes in this room, actually. Had a lot of paranormal activity tonight in the house after I was channeling to do some of the December personals. I think I have 2 left. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, you're one of those 2. Jules Fassett, speaking of which, because you're one of those 2. It's coming, honey. It's coming. I did 5 today. I just couldn't do any more because I knew I also had to channel to stream. Tony the Rock fams. Is that it? Is that it? I want to get to the read-ins.
You got Carol, right?
If I missed anybody, Bill H, hi. If I missed anybody, it was not on purpose, and I'm sure that I will see you. Shelley Montgomery, something funny about that. I'm sure I will see your name when you come up for a reading. Yeah, so I did not run him as ragged as my mom did. These two are now best friends. I hear them in the morning because I don't get up till like 10, 11 o'clock. And they both get up at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. They're yakking away, both loud as can be, having their coffee, smoking their cigarettes on the front porch. I mean, I've never seen my mom get along this well with someone who like wasn't family. My mom's always really sweet and polite and friendly, but like to invite someone into the home and like really connect with them, it's been really cool. Anonymous. All right, let's get started.
Okay, your first is Aunt Edna, because the cat has to be last.
All right, Aunt Edna. Yeah, let's see. Let's go with the Oracle of Shadows and Lights. It's one I haven't used in a while.
Now, I'm not going to be putting a list in the chat, so
Hey,
I'm
Cowie.
going to call it as it goes.
Yeah, you can just call. That's fine.
This is crazy. I don't like my little laptop.
What is it?
The little laptop I got, it's just too small and it doesn't have.
No, I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. I'm the one that agreed to buy the job.
All right, Aunt Edna. Come on.
Actually, you're next, MD.
Okay, guys, like,
Yeah, I know.
everyone's going to get their turn, okay?
Yes, everyone will.
Universe willing. Anna, you got I Am Callie, card number 13. From death comes rebirth. And I have to say, even with doing the personals, that the death, rebirth, the cyclic nature of life has been coming up over and over again in both my own readings and everyone's reading. There's some aspect of it. Some people's readings, it's like bam, 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 all the cards. Some people, it at least shows up because we are coming out of this poopy energy the sleeper stuck us in, the sleeping collective stuck us in for most of this year. We are coming out of it. And by March of next year, light workers like us should be thriving. Mike Roberts, so good to see you. Yay. All right, Aunt Edna, you see clearly and clairvoyance. As so many people hide the truth, even from themselves, it can be hard to receive a visit from me because I will help you see when someone is camouflaging and half-telling truths, and you will also have insights that seem to come from supernatural sources. It is as if you have changed sight. You can see further, higher, and more deeply within. You will experience flashes of the future and sudden understandings of the past, and you will be able to foretell likely outcomes. I am the Eye of Ra, recreating your future, and the Adrinka, the protective eye that watches over you while you sleep. And if you follow through on what you now clearly see, there will be illumination, victory, and wisdom. Trust your sacred sight. Your clairvoyant ability is being enhanced by the winged seer. You know what? I'm reading the wrong card, but I'm going to give you this reading because it was meant for you. Okay. I'm like, why does it say winged seer? Not on point tonight. You may be able to tune in remote view, also to be able to see behind doors and into rooms and receive images that let you know what someone is doing without you actually being there at the time. And all of these experiences will either empower or scare you. You have asked for more information, asked to discover what you need to know. Now that the information has come to you, you must be courageous and take action based on what you cannot logically explain. It is important now more than ever to be honest about what you see, but most of all, to be honest with your own self. And I do apologize for that, guys. I don't know why I mistook the number 12 for 14. It's like I have the wrong book here. Okay, no, there it is. Not off to a good start, Gemma. And the lights are flickering. Exactly. I am the dancer who moves through the fire, who wields my sword and severs the cords of energy that entangle you, and who is not afraid of the death that needs to happen. And Edna, this is still you. Every act of destruction is an act of creation, and this is no act of pointless destruction and brutality. I am clearing all that is leeching off your energy, draining your strength, and abrading those relationships that cannot do anything but keep you stuck. Whether you realize it or not, you called on me, and I have come to clear the path to destroy that which you have longed to let go of. Something's time has come, and it will be born again, as nothing ever truly dies. It only changes. And that time has come. I am pure fire energy and the Great Mother, and as I dance, the death you face brings you to new life. Working with Callie is extremely powerful, but it is work we all do and we all must do. If you have drawn this card, you are working with the energy of the fire of the dancing mother goddess, who will teach you how to go through the change you have been resisting and feeling was too much, and who will purify and change everything. You must not stay still with this energy. Movement is essential for working with her, and her fierce nature is, in fact, a test of your own strength. Can you do what needs to be done and still dance? Can you rejoice in the purification of stale energy? Can you walk forward without hesitating? Can you say yes to what will come for you on the other side of Callie's fire? And will you wear your lessons proudly as she does her necklace, and know that this death is an incarnation within an incarnation, a new life within this lifetime, born of fire? So that was 2 readings because I did misread it. But when I get that deeply in and then realize that I made a mistake, that means that that's the person's message too. So, and now you have a lot going on here. So first of all, I want to talk about Callie, and then we'll talk about the Winged Seer. So with Callie, there's this death of something, right? We all know the death card, most of us in tarot, how it means. It doesn't mean an actual death. It means the death of something, a relationship, a situation. But this is not something that you're going to choose. And in fact, these deaths happen normally because whether it's like we could be totally cognizant and aware of it and simply not act on it, like being complacent in our own misery, being comfortable in our misery, but just because we're comfortable, we're like, I can kind of deal with it. That kind of energy, that kind of thinking leaves no room for growth and expansion. It leaves us stuck. So then death comes in and says, okay, now I'm going to do it my way. And I always tell you guys, if you don't make a decision for long enough, the universe will be like, okay, he or she has not learned their lessons, and now I'm going to come in and make the decision for them. So that's why not choosing is making a choice. So with the clearing of what and or whoever this is, and not especially for this week, I want you to understand that it's going to do something to you spiritually and psychically, a spiritual and psychic cleansing, if you will, by the removal of what or whoever this is, this energy. And you are going to be intuitive to where, like, you know, you could end up accidentally remote viewing, astral traveling. And if you try to do any of these things, you're going to pick it up like this, especially this week. If you feel like someone's lying to you, they are. If you feel like someone's keeping something from you, they are. Okay. So trust in your own intuition, trust in your own inner knowing. Do not second guess yourself and Edna this week on anything at all, and get as spiritually aligned as you possibly can, because by the end of this year, so by the end of this month, something extremely significant is going to change, and you're going to be pulled out of your comfort zone, whether it be a relationship or a situation. And yes, I got to borrow Damien's black light next time. Throw it on here. Who's next?
Okay, MDMC.
All right, Monica. I'm going to use heal yourself. Okay.
She did my reading today. She nailed some things. Good time.
When I get into the zone, like once the readings start going, spirit really starts flowing, and spirit has really been on point, especially the past few weeks, even in personals and just in this stream. I've had people coming back to me being like, whoa, you know, how did you know that? And it's like, it just came through me. It's not something like I had like this inner knowledge or anything. It's just something that I happen to channel when I call your guys' spirit team in. And thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that. Super chat, super stickers, PayPal, Cash App. It's all appreciated, guys. And it does go back to the channel.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I had to leave YouTube. My was freezing.
Okay. All right, Monica, you got card number 22. Have faith. Faith requires you to believe in something that is not yet evident to the naked eye. Sorry, I'm getting used to where my camera is here. To generate more faith, focus on the why, your dreams, desires, feelings, attitudes, and thinking, and not on the how, action plans, strategies, and skills. Your whole life, you have been taught to think about the how, which leads to doubt and fear. The wisdom of this card is asking you to only focus on the why. The magic that will happen if you stop focusing on the how and only on the why is that after some time of practice, you will notice that the how will present itself to you. It is through your focused, positive thinking that you will create people, circumstances, and events that will take you closer to your dreams. What you have mostly done is to focus on the how, which has made you be full of self-doubt. This means that you are vibrating negative thoughts into the universe, keeping your dreams at bay. Remember, you were created to be a co-creator here on Earth, designed for achievement. Faith is knowing that everything is going to work out the best way possible, no matter what things may look like. So, Monica, what I've got here immediately when I pulled this card for you is the fact that, hi, Salvatore, what's up? Is the fact that you may be looking at things as that they're happening to you. So say, for instance, you randomly lose your job and it seems to have come out of nowhere. And now you have no way to pay your bills. You're going to lose your, like, it's going to be this whole snowball effect of trauma, right? And bad experience and negativity. The universe asks us always not to look at how something happened, but why something happened, as well as why do we need to do something, and instead of how are we going to get there. Okay, if that makes sense. So the reason the universe does this, the reason spirit does this, is because it wants us to learn our lessons. Okay, and I can already see a theme beginning to form. Looking back on, what did you do? Like, what was your part in it? Not that everything that happens to us is our fault, right? But a lot of the times, if we can just look at something that we see happening to us as happening for us, it could change our whole mind frame. And I feel like that's a much easier way of saying this, Monica. Think of something like things that are going wrong in your life, or things that you may really be upset about, or, you know, an abusive relationship, you know, a loss of a job. Think about either the role you played in it, number one. Number two, is this a recurring theme, like bad relationships, bad romantic relationships? And if so, what is it that you're doing to attract this energy in? Now, I'm not saying that someone that's abused, it's their fault they're abused. What I'm saying is there is something that they're putting out into the universe that is attracting these types of people into their energy. So what you should do this week, Monica, is look at everything that's going on in your life and see if you can shape the thought of, instead of this is, you know, I can't believe this is happening to me, be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening for me. And think of the most positive way possible that you can use whatever this is to your benefit and to your further advancement.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Smoochy, smoochy.
Monica, yes. And it's not so much don't repeat the pattern, right? Because we're all guilty of it as human beings. And the reason we're guilty of it, and I've explained this before, and I'm going to be repetitive. The reason is because when people talk about karma, a lot of people don't realize karma comes from past lives. So if you had terrible romantic relationships in your past life and you never kind of conquered that, you never figured out your part in these romantic relationships, what you were putting out there to attract this, et cetera, you're going to bring it to your next life, and it's going to continue and continue. That is karma in a nutshell, right? That's karma, the best way that I can explain it. So if you can change your whole attitude about A, B, and C in this life and make things different and refuse to accept abuse, refuse to accept anyone's BS, not look at people who are obviously toxic through rose-colored glasses, and end up with the right person in a healthy and stable relationship, you are able to drop that karmic baggage, and going forward throughout lifetimes, unless you recompile it up again, you won't have to deal with that kind of stuff anymore. Cyclic. Exactly. Yes. Miss Smoochie, let's use the Shapeshifter Oracle. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Anna. Yeah, I can't even imagine what that must be like. I lost my stepfather in February, and it was devastating, and I don't wish it on anybody.
Yeah, Mike. You just hang in there, Mike. I know. My dad starting to show signs too. And hello, Salvador.
Mike, we're all praying for you. We always are.
Always. I have a nice little list I keep at home of all the people I keep attentive about.
All right, Miss Smoochie, Strange Companions in Stranger Places, card number 28. Challenges, use your imagination. Einstein, one of your wise ones, said that imagination is more important than power. How true this is. There is nothing on this planet that was not born of a dream or a wayward thought, including we two, who were born out of separate imaginations, but who live on and grow more and more powerful thanks to the millions who believe in us and our stories, and whom we in turn inspire. So this is Snow White and Alice from Alice in Wonderland. So now, like us, you find yourself amid strange times and places. What a journey we have had, how tired we all are, how awed by our new surroundings, this strange new world we find ourselves a part of. Yes, we have traveled, we are far from home, and we are wandering, lost, but we are oh so alive because of this delicious uncertainty. We are glad we have taken this strange path and accompanied you on this fascinating voyage into the unknown. We wish you to know that life is one long metamorphosis, changing shapes and forms, always seeking the authentic self and the experience of who we truly are, which is to experience the divine. For a time, you lost your power. You even volunteered to give it up. You trusted friends you thought you knew best, teachers who seemed to know everything, and adults who acted like they have lived forever. Even now, making decisions in this strange place with stranger new friends seems daunting. Even now, you're tempted to just give up. To follow friends in fashion, to party and forget your cares. Anything, anyone, they all seem better than knowing your own power and being responsible for it. Do not give up on your own ability to make great choices, to use the unlimited power of your creativity and imagination, no matter how new and unknown everything and everyone is at this time. Oh yes, this world is strange, but so are we, and so are you, Miss Smoochie. This world and we who are in it are also beautiful and full of fresh new promise. You have all that you need within you. The compass of your heart and your shining creativity will guide you through the wildernesses of the unknown. You have a great power within you, the power of your creativity, your imagination, and your dream self. You are going through great changes, and it seems to you like you have no power. But if you use your imagination, if you get truly creative about how to deal with new people and places, who you can be, and what you are capable of, you will shine. You also have beautiful, strong allies who have accompanied you on this journey and who will not leave your side. They may bring inspiration for drawing, for daydreaming brilliant stories, for knowing how things should look, for being able to write the most ethereal music, or for dancing as light as a feather. Whatever your gift is, use it to head into and become more familiar with this new territory and explore this strange new place where you have chosen to begin a new life for yourself. No more hiding. The adventure is one which is taking place now, and you are all a part of it. There will be unfamiliar sights and emotions and a great many strange feelings that come up for you as you wander, but there will also be riches, mysteries, cultures, great artistic moments, and the chance to create a world for yourself, a world you have imagined into life. You are not alone on this journey. Reach out your hands and feel the protective warmth of all of the other beings that have been imagined into life. And danger? Oh yes, there will be danger. Snow White and Alice know all about that, but all is well. How could it not be as you live this new life in this full and wonderful way with your great creativity and your courage in full bloom? So this definitely gives me the sense, Smoochie, of kind of like, I don't want to say playing through the pain, but like I'm getting the calm before the storm, but it's like being able to remain calm. Yeah, and I even cut the introduction of the characters out. But remaining calm throughout the storm and understanding, once again, just like I said here, that if we accept the role that we play, right? Like certain things happen where someone just completely scumbags us out of the clear blue sky. We didn't see it coming. We didn't expect it. But can we look back and either A, understand the role that we played, even though we most likely still didn't deserve it? How did the other person get to making that choice? Or number two, when we start to understand that what they did to us or what happened to us was more about the other person or the other people's issues than it was about us. Kind of like when someone's jealous of you, so they go out of their way to spread rumors or, have you fired or whatever. That's their stuff. And the quicker we realize that it has nothing to do with us and just keep being our awesome, beautiful, wonderful, strange, if you will, selves, that's grace. And once we learn grace, we're on our way. So if we're looking at this as a weekly reading, Miss Moochie, try to remain calm through the storm and watch how much faster it passes, okay? Feel your feelings, feel your emotions, get through it. Be that rock for someone else. If you see someone struggling, step in if they allow you and give them some of your knowledge, your wisdom. I do feel like somebody could be reaching out to you for some of that knowledge and wisdom this week. I don't get it.
She just asked if it was a number 3. Was it on a card?
Oh no, I think because I said 1, 2. I guess reasons. I don't understand, Smoochie. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I think someone's going to be reaching out to you this week and asking for your wisdom and your advice. And I feel like you could be tempted to say, you could be tempted to give them the advice you want to give them instead of the advice you should give them. And that's the universe test for you as well, to give them the advice that that they need, not like some sort of advice that is better for you because you want to see them happier. Like if the advice is to stick it out for the next 6 months and something they don't, things like that. Definitely giving advice that you're channeling through you instead of just your humanness giving the advice. Forensic Mystics, hi.
Okay, you ready?
I will be in a minute. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Blue and Shaman.
All right, Miss Shauna, let's use Alice in Wonderland. By the way, I already thanked you guys on Facebook, but thank you for the tea. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I am waiting for it to get a little bit cooler, like a nice, really chilly, wintry day where I'm going to snuggle up with a nice book or an audio book and just relax in bed with a cup of hot toddy. Yeah. It even smelled really good. Like I left it in my room and my whole room smelled like amazing cinnamonness. Remember, you were like, oh my gosh, what's that smell? I was like, I literally just opened a package of tea from Cosmo and Shauna. I can't wait.
So good.
Jules. Oh, you got to go find Shauna. Do you want me to do yours first? I always just assume she's there.
Yeah, she usually is right there.
Oh, I wanted to say something, guys, while Blue Crossroads goes and finds Shauna if he can. So when I do the personal readings, whether you pay me or whether you get one automatically because you donate. Oh, okay, hi. You donate through Patreon, right? It takes me, an hour to sometimes 2 hours to film the reading, get set up, edit, upload, do the description, all that jazz, all that stuff, that background stuff, back scene stuff that goes into it, that backstage stuff. So if you don't watch the reading, it kind of offends my delicate sensibilities. Like, why did I put these hours and effort and time into readings for this person if they didn't want one? So if your donation is just a donation, just say that. Or if there's a month maybe you want to skip because you're still contemplating the next, the previous month, that's fine. But let me know, guys. Don't make me do an entire reading for you, in-depth, personal, and then you don't even watch it, because there are people that, really do need them. And depending how many paid ones I have for the month is depending how many free ones I give out randomly. So just a thought, if I send you a reading and you're like, you know what, Gem, I don't want one next month, or I might not want one next month, I can hit you up first. And yes, I did. And I did get the tea, and I really do appreciate it. I always appreciate when you guys send me gifts and whatever they are. They always mean so much to me that you guys thought of me. I cannot wait to try that tea. And I'm going to let you know when I do. Slow motion, what's up? All right, Miss Shauna, you got Who in the World Are You? Nightmare.
Nightmare.
Yeah, or just pass. Skip me. It's not that it like hurts my feelings or anything. Oh, thank you, Aunt Edna. It's just that, honestly, I get like, I'm like, why? Why would they make me do that for no reason? Because this month I had like 5 people who did that. All right. Miss Shauna, when you receive this card, you are being asked to rediscover yourself through the asking of that all-important question, who am I? As Alice so wisely says, that's the great puzzle. So many people go through life being who they think they are, who others say they are, or who they think they ought to be, when who they truly are is submerged beneath conformity, habit, stereotypes, cultural expectations, and other people's opinions. This card is asking you to ask this question and to assume just for a moment that you may not know just and exactly who you are. This is your invitation to go beneath the roles and the assumptions. Allow your true self to slowly ascend and emerge from beneath the stultifying feedback of the world and to be, once again, when this card comes to you, it is a wonderful opportunity to live from the heart and yourself once more, to question all you think you are, and to find out who you are right now. You may wish to meditate on this question or to find out who you are in new places with new people. You may like to start over, to incarnate in a way. You may wish to travel, undergo therapy, journal, or have heartfelt conversations about how we become who we are at any given moment. Treat this like a wonderful adventure and an opportunity to forget what you think you know. Rather than going along with beliefs, aim to truly see yourself, puzzle out once again a rebirth to and of your new self. Divination, a fascination with getting to know yourself again, growing into a new self, defying assumptions about who you are, exploration of the self, questioning who you have been told you are, changing at a very deep level, the readiness to evolve and experiment to come to greater self-knowledge. We definitely did, didn't we? And that's synchronistic, and that's just how it always works with this stream. So, Shauna, what this card is saying, I mean, it looks obvious on the surface, but there's a little bit of a deeper meaning. So getting to know yourself, okay, your likes, your dislikes, maybe your favorite type of tea today is not what it was last week, and little things like that, because you like to, discover new things and your likes change, but it's much more than that. So maybe for this week, you can spend some time in meditation, or just spend some time really thinking about your life as a whole, even thinking about mistakes that you've made, decisions you made that you wish you had made differently, and things like that. And this is a part of shadow work, getting to know yourself like this, and really coming from a place of spirituality. If we strip away all of the things society says we are, all of the things our families say we are, like mother or wife or even daughter, just you at your most basic. Who are you? Shauna, kind, maybe sensitive, light worker, you can even go so far. What are your abilities? What defines you in your mind? And do you think that those are the things that should be defining you, is the best way that I can put it? Because the answer is probably no if this card came up. So maybe reevaluate what you allow to define you, or how other people define you, and if you're okay with that. Hey, Zerg the Bird, good to see you back.
Yeah.
Thank you, Forensic Mystics. I do appreciate you.
Okay, a blue crossroad.
Yes, yes.
I figured you knew.
Blue crossroads, I'm going to use the vampire.
Because forget about him, I come knocking on your door. Where's my reading?
Dick move, Gemma. Yes, I saw your new channel. I did subscribe. I don't know if I shared it though, but I did see it, and I got to be honest, I got like this little twinge of jealousy because I was like, I could not think of a cool name for this channel. I'm like, I'll just think of a person's name. like I was trying to think of something cool and like forensic mystics. It's awesome and I love it.
The channel fits you.
No, it does. I'm just like, I would have thought of like something cool, but I couldn't. So I went with Gemma Jade. But I see all these channels popping up and I'm like, man, why didn't I think of something so cool? All right. Blue Crossroads, you got the Supernatural card. So Cassie, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. If I have any other creators in here and you do me the favor of doing that, I will try to reciprocate. I'm trying to get back into the groove of working and not laying in bed watching Investigation Discovery all day. Really lost my motivation there for a little while, guys. Okay. The vampires speak: supernatural, inexplicable, miraculous, and otherworldly. I'm not used to having the camera in that spot, so I got to get used to it. Okay. There are many things in this world that most people cannot explain away conveniently. That includes vampires, like this beautiful silver-haired creature surrounded by flying fish as the sun breathes its last behind her. Before her is a surreal vision. And yet, there it is, real yet unreal at the same time. And we are scientists and we are doctors and we teach and we walk amongst you. And we hear so many times of what is said to be impossible: the hearing of thoughts, the moving of objects through energy, the knowing of events before they occur, the receiving of messages from spirit realms. The ability to see colors around bodies, the ability to heal through touch. And I tell you all that these are not quote unquote supernatural. They are, in fact, quite natural. And when they are developed and worked upon and exercised and practiced with, they are considered super. You have these abilities. You have them in abundance, and we can see them about you. It is your task now to develop them, not to develop them without reason and intelligence, but to develop them and to celebrate your nature, your magnificent humanity, which has such potential and which is so vital to all of us. You are supernatural. You are as magnificent as those who are in spirit. You are a divine creation. And it is now time for you to celebrate this, to embrace this, and to become as strong in your extra senses as you are in others. Embrace yourself, human child, all of your magical, wondrous self. The blessing of this card: there are aspects to you that are divine and utterly connected to all of the cycles and aspects of nature. You now feel secure and safe in developing and expressing your intuitive gifts more than ever before. The curse: feeling fearful and nervous about using your intuitive gifts, beliefs that such powers are dangerous or negative, feeling unworthy or unsafe. It is time now to begin to understand that the senses we all have are not special gifts given only to the chosen. We all have them. You may have been despairing at your own lack of gifts and wondering what your abilities may be. It is time to discover this by paying attention and through hard work. So I'm not sure if you know that you have abilities, but I do agree with the vampire in this card, right? That everyone is born with at least some abilities, right? And it all depends. And the way that I put it is, and we were talking about this on the show too with Wayne and Michelle, that it really depends. I kind of look at it as which part of you is lit up, right? Which part of you is activated at any given time. So Blue Crossroads, I do feel like this has a lot to do with intuition, possibly prophetic dreaming. Whatever ability you know that you have, whether it's been dormant or whether it's been coming out more and more in more recent days and weeks, months, things like that. The universe wants you to start absolutely trusting in your, precognitive visions or thoughts, or if you think that you hear someone say something and they didn't, it's probably because you heard what they thought. Whatever the abilities are, whether you're aware of them right now, and especially if you're unaware of them, to really start understanding what they are, how to use them, to the point where you trust in them completely and there's no possible way. Like, for instance, say you have intuition, the gift of intuition. Everybody has the gift of intuition. I'm just using this as an example. The universe wants you to get to a place with it starting this week, if you haven't started already, where you never ever, like, we're trusting your intuition or whatever your abilities are to the point where it's like breathing air to you. Okay, because you're going to need it sometime in the very near future. I saw your face, but I can't find it. So if you're aware of them, start getting super comfortable with them, even more so than you may already think. The universe is going to call you. The universe, for whatever reason, wants you to get, like I said, so comfortable. It's like breathing. Because you're going to need them in the near future.
Okay, before I give you the next name, Salvador, yes, she let me dress casual tonight because I'm out of the basement. She only makes me wear a tie. I'm in the basement, so it makes her look good.
Is that one of your new shirts?
Yes, it is one of my new shirts. Yeah, I got spoiled.
My mom bought him some of those for Christmas. I picked them out.
Yes, she likes that blue on me. The Bat Mom is next.
Is the Bat Mom still here?
I just saw her. Are you here, Bat Mom? Speak up, please.
And we have to read for Lotus at some point.
Yes, I do have her at the top of the list.
Okay.
I know she's a busy little lady. Bat Mom, you still here? One more try.
Can you write a timestamp down for her in case she's not? I'm going to read for her anyway.
Yes, I can do that.
I know she's got a lot going on.
Got it.
All right. So Bat Mom, when you do come back for your reading, I am using the Fairy Wisdom Oracle. There it is. Trillium, card number 9. Keyword, self-love. Bat Mom, learn to appreciate everything delicate and gentle in your nature. Delve into that tender part of yourself that holds the cosmic parent and child. Go within and find the small child inside who asks for shelter from life's storms. Wrap your wings around that small one, giving love and comfort. See that child blossom within the unconditional love of the universe into a gentle being of light. Here lies the potential for all things wondrous. Allow yourself the nurturing that will help you bloom into the most that you can become. Too often in life, we see all the things that we do not like about ourselves instead of seeing how truly wonderful we are. What a pity. How much further do you think you could go if you were showered only with praise, positive guidance, and support? There is a constant pouring out of the blessings upon you by the Creator. It is your job to accept it into your heart and life. Love yourself. Do not forget your divine birth into this universe. You are a divine spark of that God force, and nothing can take that away from you. It is through you that God chooses to express love on the earth plane. You are an expression and part of God. The fairies recognize this within you. They are often perplexed that we as humans so often do not perceive our own divinity, something that comes so naturally to the elemental kingdom. They do wish to help, however, so follow their lead. Feel the natural grace that spirit has put upon this planet. Attune to it. Through nature, we connect to spirit. Feel the love, the peace, and the comfort of divine spirit in all areas of your life. You are never alone. The cosmic parent is always with you. Write yourself a love poem today. So, okay, Bat Mom, with this card, I do, and like knowing a little bit about your personal situation, because we are friends in real life, as I am with most of you, I know that you're going through a really hard time. And I feel like this card is telling you to give yourself a break, to understand that as a human being, there's only so much you can do. And even if you feel like you failed, whether it's true or not, you need to love yourself. You need to love yourself, give yourself credit when credit is due, and really find a way to make peace with anything you might see as a failure of yourself or something that you failed at, something that you neglected to do, forgot to do. If any of these feelings are arising in you, I really feel like you need to, regardless of whatever these feelings are, right? I feel like this week you should take a step back, okay, and really focus on Batmom, okay? Self-love, self-care is not selfishness, right? We all need to do this at some time or another in our lives, and some of us have to do it a lot more than others. I have to do it almost on a constant basis lately with everything that's going on with me, and I'm not ashamed to say it because it's helping me become a stronger person for when I do need to go into battle to either defend myself or my loved ones, right? Because those battles do pop up here and there. If you don't practice self-love and come to terms with who you are, with your wants, your needs, your goals, look back with pride on your life and everything you've accomplished and how far you've come, you are not going to do any good for anyone who is definitely going to need you somewhere down the line, whether that be near future or far future. Okay, this week, take some time out to do the things that you love. As little stress as possible, okay? I would even say disconnect. And if anyone has a problem with that, that's got to have to be their problem because you are no good to anyone if you don't love you, if you don't take care of you, if you don't cherish and treasure you.
Okay. Excuse me. Sorry about that, folks. Jennifer Bowman, are you still here?
He's the only person I know who like apologizes for sneezing, coughing.
Jennifer Bowman, are you still here on? Give it a couple more minutes, a couple more seconds.
Jennifer, if you're here, answer. We're going to move on to the next person.
Okay. Well, the next person is going to be Eris Man.
Eris is here. I know that.
Yes.
Eris, let's do Journey of a Lonely Soul.
Hello, darling Deb.
Hi, darling. Yeah, exactly. Nut slap. That's exactly it. My oldest son does it too, and it drives me nuts. I'll be like, stop apologizing. He's like, oh, sorry. I'm like,
it's just, I'm home that I don't belong in. It's just the thing I do. Well, I belong in a lot of places. They made me feel very belong here. My Jersey family now. Big time.
That's
my
right.
dad even says, are you going to your other families now?
I love his dad. I wish his dad could travel because I would so have him here too. All right, Eris. Dreamtime Odyssey. That's actually a sign of lack of confidence.
Well, thanks.
Or being uncomfortable around people, like just in general. Okay. Eris, Dreamtime Odyssey. Mist swirl all around her, confounding her every step. The way is barred, seemingly impassable, until she realizes that all she needs to do is guide her steed on a new path, upside down and backward. Eric. Our minds are often locked into accomplishing tasks the way we have always done them. Schools teach children that there is one correct answer and everything else must be discarded as quickly and efficiently as possible. This foolishness blinds us to all of the wonderful, strange, unexpected answers that are at our fingertips. Very few of our most useful inventions would have been created by adhering to straightforward thinking. Acknowledge the first direction your intuition takes you in, but then put a bow on it. Forget all of the rules and allow yourself to consider the wisdom of the absurd. Start at the end rather than the beginning. Pretend you are from another planet or another time and consider how you might approach the situation then. How can you use old tools in new ways, perhaps if they were turned around slightly? You need not become too attached to each of these strange ideas. The goal is to free your mind to see odd angles you had not yet considered. Ask yourself, which beliefs are limiting me, and what is the strangest solution I can think of? So first of all, let's toss out this idea of acknowledging our intuition, putting a bow on it, and forgetting about it, because that's something we never ever want to do. Okay, we don't want to do that. But just thinking conceptually, right? Imagine if you were from another planet and you didn't know what the rules were, right? What do you think you would be able to accomplish? And I feel like this week there's a problem that's either about to arise or that's arisen already that you just can't quite find a solution to. Okay. So you have to find a unique way of entering into the solution to figuring out how to fix this or deal with this or solve this. And that's what you're being called to do this week. So if you start to get like these thoughts like this is impossible, like I'm never going to be able to get through this, I'm never going to be able to figure this out, literally imagine that you didn't know there's something you can't do, right? You don't understand the laws and rules. I'm not saying break laws, but what I'm saying is like think outside of the box as much as you possibly can this week, and the solution to whatever this is that's been really bothering you, that you've been going round and round with, or round and round about, will definitely come to you.
Okay. Larry A. Hello, Larry, and I hope you're doing well, sir.
Larry, let's do Into the Lonely Woods. Darling Deb, thank you. Yeah, I always give the book meaning, and I know a lot of the times they do sound a bit complicated, but then I bring in the messages from spirit. And sometimes the spirit messages, a lot of the time, actually don't really match what the book says, but the book is kind of just like a guide to allow me to be able to bring spirit in. That sounds even more confusing. No, I really don't need the book, but it is a nice place to start.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's easier for people to understand that. So why not do both? Exactly, Bat Mom. It's like, well, Gemma Jade told me to pretend I didn't know what laws were. Universal laws, okay? Not man-made mishmash that sometimes they work and sometimes you have to adhere to them and sometimes you don't, depending on who you are. But that's a whole other topic of discussion.
Tracy, I'm not in YouTube, so I can't really answer that. So, but you're coming up soon.
Okay. Larry.
Yep.
The truth comes softly. Card number 36. If you go on YouTube and just hit mute, you won't get feedback.
No, I was freezing.
Oh, okay,
I was freezing on both of us.
Okay. Larry, in the clean space of freedom to witness the self, we can find ways to work with the truth. Truths are not the same as facts. Truths are about our stories and the story of our lives thus far. Being isolated for a time can mean we begin to understand far more deeply what our stories have become, and we begin to know how our stories need to change. The tale of your life becomes more and more clearly written by yourself without all the suggestions and interruptions, even those that are well meant, of others. Let the truth become clearer and clearer until it is in front of you. This truth is your story and it is yours to write. And Larry, I feel like this once again has the involvement of other people causing you issues. So allowing too much input from others, even if it's other people that you can absolutely trust, you know this for a fact, they have your best interest at heart. The fact of the matter is, Larry, they're not you. They don't have to live with your decisions and they don't have to live in your skin. They don't live your exact life. So even if they love and care for you very much and want to see you succeed and have your best interest at heart, that doesn't mean that you should always take their advice or always listen to what they tell you or what their version of the truth is. I feel like you're placing too much stock in something someone else is telling you, okay? And I don't feel like this person is lying to you. I just feel like this person is seeing the situation a lot differently. I feel like you could be asking others or another person, at least one, for their perspective on something. And while it's okay to take what they say into consideration, you should never live your life by what other people think or how they perceive something. I feel like this week, Larry, you should take some time for you to really decide where you want to go next, what you want to do next, what you believe is best for you. And if you feel like you're going to upset someone because you're not taking their advice or whatever the case may be, if somebody really cares about you and has your best interest at heart, they will want to see you happy and content, regardless of whether or not you took their advice, right? Mind over matter. Those who mind don't matter. Those who matter don't mind.
Okay, we ready?
Yep.
Ufologist. Thank you, Tracy. It's just hard, and I don't want to interrupt Gemma until I get this computer fixed.
If you want to see where she's at, you can let her know right after I read for ufologist. How about that?
That's fine. I was thinking about using my phone too.
That way you can just at least answer the girl's question.
Using my phone.
All right, ufologist. I am going to use Aether creatures for you. Oops. You're very welcome. Thank all of you guys for coming in, hanging out, being so sweet and kind. And I really hope to see you guys on next Monday night's first live stream content show.
Yes, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I always said that when something starts feeling stale or inauthentic, that I wouldn't do it anymore. And those pre-recorded videos, it's just like blah 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 blah. Like I just don't want to do them anymore. I feel like I do so much better in a live setting. Bring more people in, get to hang out with more people, get to spend more time with you guys. So I really feel like this is the best way to go, not just for me and my channel, but for all of us. So we can hang out and spend some more time together. Okay. Ufologist, you got Tick Balang. Card number 25, and you got it in the right side up position. If a Tick Balang has appeared to you right side up, your fear of something in the situation you are in is unfounded. Just like many of the people of ancient Asia began to tell tales of a horse demon because they were initially afraid of horses, you are judging or maybe even projecting something to be a threat when in reality it is not. Trying to conquer or eliminate fear will never work. It is important to remember that the opposite of fear is love, and therefore, any love you develop toward a thing diminishes the fear. And therefore, any love that you develop toward a thing diminishes your fear of that thing. To love, you must develop intimacy. This means you must see, hear, feel, and understand whatever it is that you fear. That being said, one of the best ways to diminish fear is to develop relatability with that thing. If you recognize yourself in the thing you fear, you will no longer push it away. This is especially important to know because we often project fear onto things that are external manifestations of the aspects of ourselves that we fear and or have rejected, denied, suppressed, and or disowned. In this situation, what does your fear need? How can you caretake it? As it is your own fear that is preventing you from clearly seeing the reality of the situation at hand, it's important that you come to recognize what all your fears are about in order to understand your reaction. Choose how to respond to your fear and see the situation, elements, people involved as it or they really is or are. So your intuition may be failing you on this one this week. Okay, there's a situation going on with, someone you love. Most likely, it could just be a general situation, but I do feel it doesn't have to be a romantic love. It could be a family member or even something involving your personal self, your personal being, right? It's a Tick Balang nut slap, okay? It's an Aether creature. So your fears are completely unfounded about this specific and particular person and or situation. Okay, so you should maybe sit back and try to figure out why you're thinking these things. Why do you fear that this person is maybe a liar or not worthy of your trust? Or why do you feel like this situation is too good to be true when abundance is your birthright, right? As a human being. So sit back and after you accept, which is a little bit hard to accept that you're totally wrong about something or someone that you feel so sure. And this is lower vibrational energy that I'm getting. So you fear that, you know, maybe this is just an example. I'm not saying this is what it is, but like your new girlfriend's cheating on you. You know, she's absolutely not. You feel like your boss is lying to you about giving you a raise come the new year, right? They're not. Why do you have this distrust of the person, mistrust of the situation? And when you can figure that out, it'll be a lot easier for you to distinguish when your fear is getting in the way and when your intuition is on point. Okay. I don't know. It could be either. It's okay. So if you don't know if it's a person or a situation, then maybe it's that it hasn't happened yet. It could even be both. But if there's a person and a situation, or if there's two people or two situations, like some things that you are thinking, again, like you're being lied to or too good to be true, sit back and really, really think about why you feel this way. Do you really feel it as intuitive, or are you projecting it because you're afraid to get too involved with this person, so you have to find something wrong with them because what if you end up happy? You know what I mean? Or, you know, it's coming from a place, whatever it is or whoever it's about, of distrust. And that in and of itself is an issue. So as you go forward in the week, really keep in the back of your mind that you could be self-sabotaging by pushing someone away or refusing to accept an opportunity or refusing to accept something someone says at face value. So really consider your next move when you start to feel that fear creep in. Is it fear because of fear, for fear's sake, right? Or is it fear because you actually know inside of your body and energy that there is something to be afraid of, that there's something to fear? That's your power animal. I swear I looked really quick and I thought you said that's a sexy power animal. I was like, heck yeah.
Well, you see here. See what Nut Slaps said? He kills me.
Okay, ufologist said, well, I have two situations of fear, but person-wise, it's my fear of asking or of rejection. Okay, so whenever there's a fear of rejection that's stopping you from asking something, my background, because the heating vents are on, I always want to say, Tracy, give me a second. I always want to say, don't ever allow fear of rejection stop you from doing anything, because that is inauthentic fear that comes from insecurity. And as human beings, we are not meant to be insecure beings. So if one of those things is a fear of asking for fear of rejection, I want you to get rid of that. And you just go right up to whoever that person is and you ask them what you want to ask them. If you're rejected, so what? That's part of the growing process, the growth process. And I know, especially being someone who's shy, that's really hard to consider. Like, oh my gosh, she wants me to just go up and risk being rejected. Yes, because it'll make you stronger if you are. I don't think you're going to be rejected. I don't feel any like pull in your energy as I read for you, right? So if I felt pull, that means there's resistance to something. I don't feel resistance. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. The worst thing that could happen is someone says no or someone denies you, you know, and you move on from that. You learn and grow from it. Those are the best experiences to grow from. What were you looking for? Nutslap said something?
Yeah, that's funny. He was saying compared to hold on, let me find it real quick. It's not that far. He's just so great.
So, Tracy, what kind of spirit and how did it alert you to it? Madison, are you here?
Yes, Madison.
Madison's here or no?
I'm waiting for
I said, Madison, are you here? He's like, yes.
No, I was kill it. There's a snort. We got a snort out of her.
I snorkeled.
Okay. I'm not gonna look for it. You got to keep moving. So,
All right, yeah.
Madison, if you're here, please.
Yeah,
speak
she's
up.
here.
Okay, thank you, Madison.
There you go, girl.
We're working
Let
on
Julie
it.
know how far she is down the list. All right, Miss Madison, I am going to use for you Heal Yourself. I'm actually reading on my altar. So all my crystals and everything is right here, guys, bringing in so much power and so much energy. Snorty McSnorterson. That's me all the time. And also, did you let Tracy know?
Yes, she got over too.
Okay.
It's
Oh, you're in there. I didn't realize you were
I'm
in
using
there.
my phone.
Thank you. Isn't he a sweetie poo?
I'm trying.
You're all sweetie poos.
I'm a poo, all right.
Human, I hear noises and talking. Feel like someone is here. Okay.
Shuffling sounds as well.
Do you have like a black obsidian stone or selenite, even like something like clear quartz, just something to like put an energy of protection? If you don't know how to communicate with the spirit, you can literally, like, that was my next thing, and go upstairs and ask who or what it is and what it wants. Listen for a response. If you get a negative or bad feeling at all, don't go upstairs and sage that stuff. Sage it. That's it. Get rid of it. If you feel uncomfortable in any way, you can ask what or whoever it is to leave. And then if that doesn't work, you sage your entire house. Guys, when you sage to get rid of negative energies, entities, at least crack one window. Because if you're telling these things to leave and you don't give them a way to get out, you're just trapping them there.
And a lot of people make that mistake. They close up the house and sage, and then they wonder why they still have a problem.
An obsidian dagger would count, and out of every single thing that was on my altar, I was missing one thing out of my boxes of stuff. One. My brand new amethyst adorned athame. I'm sure that was an accident. If that's the case, then I would ask what spirit wants. And if you can't hear with your ears, or if you don't know how to feel out what it's asking you, pay close attention to your dreams. I mean, without like having more information about you, like, I don't want to tell you the wrong thing to do in case it is something negative. Just because you've never experienced anything negative before doesn't mean you won't ever. But making its presence known is to either scare you or to make its presence known. It's a ceremonial altar dagger. Okay, Madison, card number 6, the card of cycles, which we were just talking about. Life is cyclical. Sometimes things flow and other times they slow down. What cycle of your life are you in right now? What is the one area of your life where you need to focus most of your energy? Is it time for you to focus on your family? Do you need alone time to discover your true purpose? Do you yearn to open your heart and love fully, deeply, and passionately? Is this the time for healing and regeneration? Maybe you are completely ready to enthusiastically concentrate on your life purpose and put all of your energy and effort into making your dreams a reality. Each cycle you encounter offers you fresh gifts and possibilities to learn and grow. The better you become at identifying the cycle you're in, the more flow and harmony you will experience in the choices that you make. So this is kind of a stop and taking stock type card. So stopping and looking at everything in your life, how far you've come, how far you have to go, where you're at, where you'd like to be, where you were, learning the lessons of how you got to where you are right now, right? This is a card of self-examination. Are you actively working to make your life better? Are you actively working to learn what your life's purpose is and fulfill it, achieve it, right? To get more spiritually aligned with your life's purpose, what you chose to come here to learn. Like, why would we come to Earth if we weren't trying to learn something, right? There are so many beautiful planes of existence and planets and realms that we could be. We come here because there's something we need or want to learn. Madison, I feel like you've been in a dark night of the soul for quite a while, but I do feel like you could be coming out of it very, very soon. Okay. So this week, why don't you spend some time in meditation? If you're no good at meditating, a lot of people are not used to meditating, so they think they're bad at it or they can't do it. Do a guided meditation. Heck, do a guided meditation while you sleep. There are plenty of them on YouTube. Listen to some binaural beats to raise your frequency. Listen to a guided meditation to timeline jump. Wake up in your best timeline and do a chakra alignment. Now, again, this is not Gemma giving you this advice. So all of this stuff is coming through, these suggestions, for a reason. Okay? We don't want to repeat cycles. Okay? Life is cyclic, but we don't want to keep repeating the same negative cycles. We want to, even with positivity, we don't want to keep doing the same positive things over and over again either. We want to learn and grow and move forward with our lives, with our purpose, with our mission. Okay. So really take stock of what it's going to take to get you to your big 1 year goal. Where do you see yourself in 1 year? Then where do you see yourself in 5 years? And then your 10-year plan. Okay. I do feel like if you can get focused on like a plan starting this week and like really try to stay laser focused on it by meditating, by staying aligned, and by focusing a little bit more on your spirituality and on the positive aspects of your life, of your blessings, that attitude of gratitude, right? Then you're going to end this year and come into 2023 on such a positive note, coming out of this dark night of the soul, finally moving on from people, places, and things you've outgrown that no longer served you, stepping into your power. But you have to get more spiritually in tune and more spiritually aligned. What's up, Crowley?
Okay. Nut slap. Mr. Funny Man himself.
All right. I loved that Red Bull when I first tasted it. Now it's starting to have an aftertaste of like really cheap whiskey.
Ooh.
I don't like it anymore. I was like, this is what Christmas tastes like. I love it. I don't like it anymore. Miss you too, Crowley. I messaged you back on Facebook Messenger because I kept getting like these messages coming in, and I was like, okay, let me tell him that I don't look at Facebook Messenger. And the only reason I even saw that one message from you is because I happened to be looking at my phone. So I was like, but you can text me though. And then I heard nothing, but I did get back to you. A loud belch, actually messenger's call. Nut slap. Let's use the Vampire Oracle. Yes, me too. Me too, honey. I definitely feel you on that. Oh. I would honestly ask what it wants.
That's the best way to do it.
Surround yourself in, the bright light, bright white and or yellow/golden light. And, that'll protect you, and ask what it wants. Ask who it is and what it wants. And if you don't receive an answer, like if it doesn't appear in your dream, if you don't get a sudden voice in your head or like an actual response, then get rid of it. On Messenger. I'm sorry, I didn't understand. I was like, wait, what? What?
Oh, Mark.
What's up, Mark? Yeah, because you know what, Anna, you do kind of have a point. If you're not sensitive or like someone who can physically see spirits, spirit will know that about you. So to come into your home and producing this fear in you, it's kind of iffy. Like, why would a friendly spirit or a spirit with a positive message come to you and do that? Negative and lower vibrational entities, energies, creatures, spirits, etc., do that so they can feed off of your fear. I would definitely do a cleansing of my entire house with sage or pure palo.
And do yourself too.
And yes, and yourself.
Okay, we ready? Or
Nut slap.
Okay.
Nut slap. The Vampire Oracle, card number 21, the card of thirst, craving, compulsion, and obsession. That's because he doesn't have a suit at my house. That's why he looks laid back.
I was going to dress up for it.
No, Crawley said Ghost Dragon is looking laid back for once. I was like, he doesn't have a suit here. Okay, nut slap. The vampires speak. You are currently craving something with such a great thirst that it is dominating your thoughts and feelings, and you can think of hardly anything else. Thirst can be wonderful when that which you long for or yearn for is healthy and wise, but in this case, the thirst is for the kind of experience you know will have life-changing consequences. For with us, the thirst we experience is not just for the blood, the drink that sustains us. It is for the stream of humanity and the song of life and beautiful warmth that runs through the blood. So too for you. What you thirst for is very close to becoming an addiction or an obsession, which draws you away from what makes you, you. If it is a person you thirst for, their touch, their love, or if it is a substance, know that this thirst is exerting a powerful force, even close to a control. There may be an addiction or an addictive way of thinking and feeling working its way into your life. We wish to direct your consciousness to this thirst and ask you to question its source. What is it the thirst craves? Can it be satisfied, or are you simply compelled to search and drink again and again? Know that some thirsts can be satisfied in ways that are in tune with your personality, yourself, this time, all manifestations of your essence and soul, and others will steal you further and further away from your true self. The blessing. The thirst will lead you to know more about yourself and how far you go to quest for something you want. You could encounter a way through to self-knowledge, but consider too that what you thirst for you may never find. Many of we children of the night thirst more for the humanity we have been separated from in so many ways than we thirst for the blood of the same. The curse. This thirst for knowledge, for a person, for fulfillment, for lust, for ecstasy, and the vanishment of pain through experiences or foods, drugs, and or alcohol that distract you from the pains you no longer wish to feel will dominate you. This thirst is so strong that it takes over your life force and your will. You are being consumed. It is time to assert yourself, your true self once again. Batmom, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do appreciate the donations, guys, and I appreciate all of the support, always. So, nut slap, working with this card, it is possible to reclaim your life force and your will. Even we vampires learn to do this, and after years of practice, we no longer need to give in to our lust for life and your lifeblood. Your desire is driving you. Be sure of where it is taking you and whether it is increasing your ability to live fully alive or whether it is dragging you into a seductive soul sleep from which you may struggle to awake. It is time to be open and honest with yourself about what has power over you. Take steps to reclaim your power and listen to your guidance, being sure to follow the voice within that wants you to express your own power in safe and healthy ways. So, nut slap. There is something that you really have been focusing on. It's been taking up a lot of your thought. Maybe a lot of your time is spent ruminating on how you would feel or what you would do if you had this thing or this person, etc. The universe isn't telling you that this is a bad thing or something you shouldn't be thirsting for, right? The universe is telling you to really make sure that this person or this thing is something that you want and you're not just thirsting for something to make you feel alive or to pull you out of a rut, right? Be sure that, thank you, Crowley. I appreciate you. And that sounds awesome. That whatever this is that you really want, that you put in a practical effort to get it. You don't just expect it to fall into your lap. You're not romanticizing the idea of what it is. So say it's a romantic relationship, say it's a person. that you're not romanticizing this person to think that they're some type of perfect person. And if only you could be with them, then all your problems will be solved. Or say it's a new job, a career that you've been after that you know you're going to make a lot of money. So once you have this career, if only you could have this amount of money, then you're going to be, you know, doing great and all of your problems are going to be solved, because no one person or thing could do this for you. Feeling that way, feeling like you don't have that many problems and life is all good, that comes from being spiritually aligned. And I think the universe is just trying to get you to look more into becoming more spiritually aligned and to make practical plans about obtaining whatever this is once you become spiritually aligned. So once you understand that you don't need what and or whoever this is to be complete or fulfilled, that's something that we're really meant to have in our lives, or someone comes in to complement us, not to fill us up, because in order to fill us up, we have to take from that person, and then that person's, you know, half or almost completely empty.
Okay.
Yeah, Jilly, do you mind you too? Who's next?
Okay, Vixen Doe. Yeah, I love some of the artwork on some of these cards, but some of the artwork I've seen, there's some weird stuff out there too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Vixen Doe, I'm going to use the Lantern Oracle. Yeah, that's who did those ones. I usually go with, like, if I have a choice, like I have almost all of Lucy Cavendish's decks. Now, she's the author. She's not the artist. But Jasmine Beckett Griffith is the one who does, like, the Fairy Tale Oracle. She does the Vampire Oracle. You can see it. The Shapeshifter, see her name right down there. So she works with Lucy Cavendish a lot, not on all of the decks, but on a lot of them. So there's a new deck by Lucy Cavendish, or a newer one, or at least one that's newer to me. It is called Blessed Be. And I almost bought it multiple times, but the artwork wasn't done by, I keep forgetting her name, Jasmine Beckett Griffith, and it wasn't as striking to me. And I didn't connect with the deck as much. I'm because I can't read every comment. Tracy, why don't you email me? Because I can't read every comment, honey, I'm missing some of what you're saying, and I can't.
I'll put it in here right now.
Look for my email address. Also, guys, if you want to order some of my spiritual helper boxes, I'm only doing them, like I said, in one size. It is a pretty, I don't want to say it's a huge box, but it's between a medium and large size box. Comes with all types of spiritual goodies, crystals, and my homemade sprays and incense and little charms and keychains and all that kind of stuff, direct from me to you. My email address is going to be in there, as well as autographed copies of not only my new book, but my other two as well. So email me for all correspondence, like Tracy, if you need to ask me questions or explain something to me or whatever, at the same email address, GemmaJadeParanormal@gmail.com. Okay. Vixen Doe, Radical Curiosity. Seeing as if for the first time, every time. The maiden sees with wonderment the mystery and majesty of natural ethereal. No, I did that wrong. The mystery and majesty of nature enthrall her and inspire the music she creates. Her presence reminds us to resume looking at the ever-changing world with the openness of a child. For the world's beauty and enchantment can be seen at every age, if and when we remember to access our inner magical and childlike perspective. The maiden is alive with the potent energy of raw inspiration. She reminds us of what it feels like to be radically curious about where an idea might lead. She experiences the world as a globe of magical unknowns to be explored. Curiosity runs through her veins as limitless energy. She creates her music from one inspiring idea to the next. She cannot anticipate the outcome of any tune she is exploring how to create, nor does she necessarily have the self-discipline or regard for any elder's caution or advice on what is and what is not possible. The maiden's curiosity is wild and radical. She accepts and understands no limitation, nor does she refrain from venturing into the vast landscape of her own imagination. She is without presumption, judgment, anticipation, or in need of validation for her creation. Therefore, she fears no disappointment, rejection, or failure. Naivety frees her to boldly follow what she is inspired to express and immerse herself in the joy of expressing it. The maiden reminds you that you always have the power to change a routine that stifles your ability to see life with the excitement, possibility, and magic of a child. She encourages the reawakening of your innate radical curiosity and openness. May you enjoy a return to your fresh and unique perspective. May you also allow yourself to express what inspires you creatively. Radical curiosity is the maiden's alchemy and yours too. Maiden's message: radical curiosity inspires creativity. So, something that you maybe want to undertake, that you want to give a chance. It could be a person, a thing, an adventure, a new job, like whatever this is that is inspiring you to want to either be better, live better, do better, or make more money. Like whatever is inspiring you to want to raise your frequency, raise your elevation, be more connected to who you are on a spiritual level, without constantly worrying about pleasing others and what others are going to say, think, how others are going to react. The way that you can do this, again, I'm being repetitive, but is by becoming more spiritually aligned and remembering that you are the one who has to live your life, Vixen Doe, okay? You are the one who is responsible for you. You don't have to take other people's advice. Like I told Larry, you don't have to worry so much about what others are going to think, because the people that care about you are going to want to see you happy regardless. I feel like you're putting too much stock into what someone else is thinking or feeling, even if you don't want to admit it to yourself. Okay. Maybe you're hesitating, or maybe there was some sort of rejection that came in or that's about to come in that kind of took you out of this mode that you were in of like being ready to move forward with something or with someone. Okay. And for the rest of the week, because these are weekly readings, I would say to take a step back, unplug if you can, and deal with other people as little as possible. Reconnect with yourself, with your spiritual team, with your guides and your angels. Okay. Reconnect with what it is you really want. What did you want when you were 8 years old? Have you even come close to accomplishing it? Do you still want the same things? If not, what is it that you want? I've been telling a lot of people, even in the personals, even my clients, when we do our 1-hour sessions, that it's time to reevaluate what we think we want and what we feel, right? Because it's not going to be the same as when we're 8 years old, because our lives have changed. But what do you want now? And then putting practical ways in place and taking practical steps to get towards those goals. But for this week, throw practicality aside, throw caution to the wind, dance in the rain, sing like no one's listening, like it doesn't matter. Do all of the things that make you happy. Do all of the things that make you feel like your best self. And then after next week, come back for another reading. But I can say that it'll be so freeing that it could be like something that makes you feel so good and so amazing that you're not going to want to stop, even if it's on a smaller scale, right? Not taking anyone's crap, not having to deal with, that nagging lover anymore, or that nasty sexual harassment panda of a boss that you have, like not putting up with anyone's crap, doing what frees you and what makes you happy and making no apologies for it. But I do feel like you're going to have to work your way up to this. So disconnect as much as you can this week. Do a chakra alignment guided meditation, specifically your throat and heart chakra. But I would just do them all and then do a throat one just for like a little extra zing, right? A little extra oomph. And after the week's done, take a step back and be like, okay, now how can I continue doing A, B, and C that made me feel so good this week when I didn't have to listen to anyone else's anything about anything? Joel Toreto, welcome and thank you so much. Yes, darling Deb, I like to throw the sexual harassment panda in as much as I can, okay? I've had quite a few of those in my life.
Okay, Richard Elmore, and he is here.
Richard Elmore, let's use Earth and Bone.
1 second. Good night, Shauna. Good night, Blue Cross.
Good night, Shauna. Good night, Blue Crossroads. Love you guys.
Now my battery's done. On my phone.
All right, Richard Elmore. You know how I also know that Spirit's on point? I don't have to even choose the cards in most cases tonight. They're just coming out, which I really love when that happens, when I don't have to pull one. Not that it really matters, but when they just pop out and like, yes, that's the card. So card number 1, it's the card of shelter. Spiritual growth, revival, accountability, and healing. It takes time and work to heal, and it isn't always a one-time fix. You may need to return to the shadow and difficult memories again until your mind stops repeating the negative and instead transforms it into an opportunity for growth and learning. After you've let go of the things that are holding you down, you can move forward. It's important to let go of any feelings of shame or guilt. Forgive the person who went through that. That person is no longer who you are. From there, envision what you would do differently, but be careful not to envision what you would not want to repeat. You are no longer that person. From there, think about what you do differently, but avoid thinking about what you wouldn't want to do again. Replace that memory with a new one. Picture yourself in that situation and consider what you would have done differently to avoid causing yourself unwanted experiences. Accept that you are a human being, assume accountability, and forgive yourself. Make the conscious decision to learn from your mistakes and accept that you have evolved and are no longer the same person you were. Allow yourself to let go of those emotions since they belong in the past and you are now living in the present. Those emotions are not indicative of who you are. You may feel compelled to slow down and spend time in nature, meditate, or engage in a healthy activity that allows you to enjoy yourself. Your affirmation for this week: I am whole and do not need to chase anything in order to be complete. I am aligned with what I've learned and how I've grown. I am better, wiser, and stronger because of my experiences and lessons. And this is a great, great, great message for everyone in here to really listen to and to really take heed of, right? Or take heed. I don't know how to say that. And thank you, Salvatore. So this is saying that while it's okay to spend a moment reminiscing or imagining how things would be if you had, done that one thing differently, or, said the right thing in that one situation, or hadn't done A, B, or C, it's okay to take a moment, but we don't want to get stuck there. Okay. In order to heal, we have to recognize things for what they are and move forward, learning and growing and becoming a better person because of and for them. All right. So constantly dwelling on your last relationship with who you thought was the love of your life because it ended badly and, he or she left you, ruminating over that over and over again. And I know that can be something that we get sucked into and we just can't get out of it. It's like the hamster wheel, right? It's kind of like if you can just look at the lessons that you learned from it. And if you feel like you haven't learned anything, then that is definitely a problem. Okay. Because we are supposed to learn from every experience, positive and especially negative, that we go through. So I said this in the beginning, and I said that this was a recurring theme in all of the personals this month, and especially this week and even today, right? Is understanding the part that we played so that we can be sure that we don't do something like that again, so that we don't self-sabotage, okay? And then moving on and learning that lesson. So instead of blaming the ex for walking out on us, even if they really didn't have that good of a reason, it should have been something that could have been worked out. There's always a part that we play in any and all situations. And if we can just see what that is. So the universe is calling you to spend a couple of minutes thinking about the past and letting it go, and literally imagine it coming into your head and going out as like black dust, like dust in the wind. It's gone. Black usually equals negative in people's minds, even though negative and positive don't have colors. But either way, moving on from people, places, and things that no longer serve you, so that you can move into people, places, and things that do. But again, broken record, Gemma, we are going to have to be spiritually aligned in order to do these things. Thinking on the positive, right? Thinking in the most positive way possible, for the most expecting the most positive outcome possible. The difference lies in the belief. Do we really believe what we're trying to convince ourselves of? And it takes spiritual alignment and a lot of practice to get there. Okay. And that's what the universe is calling you to do this week.
Okie dokie. Miss Ann Palmer.
Okay. And I am going to use the Mystic Mermaids Oracle, or Myths and Mermaids, sorry.
We got a couple conversations going on. I've got a loss. I was like, wait, I'm confused.
Okay. Hold on one sec. All right. So Miss Ann Palmer. Hold on, I'm having a deck issue here. All right. Mermaid Picking Lotus Blossoms, card number 25. A lovely golden-haired mermaid sits upright in a pond covered with lily pads. She thoughtfully seeks out and selects a lotus blossom. A contemplative look is upon her face. She is on a quest of faith, a quest of a spiritual nature. Divination, meaning you are seeking spiritual perfection. You are surrounded by options, mental, material, emotional, and spiritual. Now is the time to focus your energies and select a path to search for spiritual perfection. Take your time and find the direction that is appropriate for you. Experiment with a new method of communing with nature or your higher power through yoga, meditation, or religious study. Find a group who is seeking just as you are and who shares your ambitions. This is a time to move forward with an open mind and a curious heart. Do not prejudge the paths others are on. Attend a service with a family member or friend from a different faith. Read spiritual texts that are unfamiliar to you and take the time to experiment and walk into new territories. You never know where your new path may lead you. So I feel like a lot of us, if not all of us, are looking for spiritual attunement, if you will, how we can grow spiritually, especially in this community because of the year that we've all had. It's like we're freaking light workers, and these are the types of things that are being done to and happening to us, you know, but these are the tests that spirit and the universe puts us through before we can truly spiritually ascend and understand that, again, you know, how others treat us is everything to do with them and really doesn't have much to do with us, at least others that aren't spiritually aligned that are searching as well. And that's grace, when you can understand that the way people behave is more about them than you. Understand it, learn from it, grow with it, and move on. Accepting that we are all imperfect, you know, never judging. And that's really hard to do. But Anne, this week, you're being called to look at a new way of getting spiritual, getting aligned, figuring out maybe what your path is or who's supposed to be on it and who isn't supposed to be on it. There are spiritual questions that your soul is seeking answers to, or actually that you're seeking answers to, and that your soul is kind of along for the ride, right? Because our soul has the answers, and that was a dumb thing for me to say. If you can find a way to get more connected with and or in tune with your soul, with your higher self, with your spirit team, your angels, your guides, your guardians, ancestors, even your deceased loved ones, you'll find those answers and they'll make perfect sense to you if it's time for you to recognize and find them. And it is. Do not shut the door. Do not block all of this out completely because, again, fear is always going to be what stands in our way. It's always going to be in our way, in the way of our path to spiritual enlightenment, alignment, and being in tune with what our higher self and our soul really wants and needs, with the reason that we came here in the first place. Okay. So if you're invited to do something that may seem a little strange or bizarre to you this week involving spirituality and or religion, don't judge. I would accept every opportunity I can this week to do what I can to find the answers that I'm so desperately seeking, because they are inside of you. It's just that we are not born with recall. Okay. And another message that I'm getting is that you should save your pennies for a rainy day. I don't know, that popped in at the end there. So save your pennies for a rainy day. You might end up having to go on this, or wanting to go on this spiritual journey, or something like that, or like do a retreat or revival or something. So Darling Deb says, my soul needs to start speaking up. See, that's the thing. Our soul, our higher self, is always speaking to us. It's just that if we're not at the right frequency, or operating at the right vibration or frequency, we're not going to hear it. We're not going to recognize it. And that's where becoming more spiritually aligned comes in.
Okay, I'm waiting to see if Jilly Doom will answer. And if she doesn't answer soon, we're just going to go on to Shelly Montgomery.
Is Shelly Montgomery still here?
Shelly, you still? I haven't seen her in a while either. I'm trying to keep up with everybody.
It's okay. Shelly, are you still here? Jilly, are you still here? Whoever answers first is going first. There's Shelly. All right. Shelly, Moonology manifestations.
Yes, we see you, Shelly.
Yeah, and Darling Deb, that was actually really good that you said that, because that was a very simple way of saying exactly what a lot of these cards tonight are calling us to do, myself included. I'm going through living hell right now, but all I can do is learn from it and be sure that I don't ever end up allowing myself to be in a situation like this again, so that it doesn't happen. Not that I can take all of the responsibility for it, because it's something that was done to me. All right, Shelly, I'm going to do Jilly first, if you just give me a minute.
Yeah, I didn't see her say.
I didn't see it either, so it doesn't matter, guys. Jilly, I'm going to use Night Fairies.
Oh, she did.
I didn't see it. I don't see everything that comes in.
It goes by sometimes really fast.
So, Deb, I do this through meditations. I do this through communing with my guides because of my abilities. It's a little bit easier for me, but nothing, most of what I do isn't something that the average person can just pick up and start doing. So yeah, a good place to start would be guided meditations while you sleep, if it's possible, because that's when our conscious mind is at rest. So it's our subconscious and our superconscious mind that's picking all of the information up. That's why if you go to sleep watching, a horror movie or a true crime show, you're not going to get the most restful sleep. You'll wake up in the morning lagging more so than if you listen to something spiritual or some kind of guidance while you sleep, right? So that's how I would start, is with guided meditations or something like binaural beats. And there are millions of them right here on YouTube that are great. No ad breaks. And I say guided because it guides your sub and superconscious mind. So if you want to align your chakras while you sleep, which is always a good place to start, you can do that. What I normally do is listen to like the first, minute or so and see if I resonate with the person's energy. You'll feel it. Like some people, you're just like, oh, I can't listen to this person for no reason. It's just like you're not vibing with that energy. Some people, I have a problem with accents. I have a hard time understanding them. So it's hard for me to listen to someone with a really thick accent, but that might work for somebody else. It might be comforting or soothing. And Mike, I wish you would change that, but I'm guilty of it too. What do you think about reoccurring?
Really scary. She likes that scary stuff right before bed. Then she complains she has nightmares.
Reoccurring, Jilly, you're fine. You're fine.
I boo-booed. I just
No, it's the faces that I make. Sometimes I'll just randomly think of something, I'll see something, and it has nothing to do with what I'm actually saying. So it's not a big deal. I just didn't see it. And Shelly usually hangs out longer anyway, so we're good. But someone else just said something that I was about to. Oh, what do I think of reoccurring dreams? It really depends on what the reoccurring dream is and how connected you are. I mean, what are you understanding the reoccurring dream to mean? And if you can't understand it at all, then we'd have to look into, what's going on in your life, or maybe it's something, a part of your higher self or a part of your spirit team trying to give you a message. It could be a negative entity trying to feed off of you while you sleep, and this is how you're reconciling yourself to it. So they can mean a lot of things. A lot of the time, reoccurring dreams are your soul contract playing out in your mind of something that you haven't achieved yet that you had planned on by now. But it could be something crazy, like I used to have a dream of this girl being attacked me, and I would have to fight her when I was a little girl. I don't know still to this day what that meant, but I know it was my subconscious trying to tell me something. My Wi-Fi is getting a little wonky, guys, so I hope that you can still hear me. Jilly, card number 18, Metamorphosis. Now you see me, now you don't. The Fairy of Metamorphosis welcomes us to change our shape, status, mood, and whole self, just like the phases of the moon. Some might complain that after all this time, the caterpillar they once knew has changed. But in turn, the butterfly replies, well, I'm supposed to. A time of change, seasons, cunning, a trickster, or switching it up. Affirmation for this week, I change with ease and grace. I am constantly evolving and transforming. Try something new with your look, with your style, with the way you approach various situations, with the way you talk. The list goes on. You might be surprised by just how natural it feels to switch it up. Allow the change to flow through you. So, Jilly, this could be talking about spiritual change. This is a card in this case because all the cards, despite what the book says, the messages come from the person I'm reading for, a spiritual team. So the messages are a lot different each time I pull each card. And what I'm getting here is not to be fooled into becoming someone you're not comfortable being. We don't change our hair because our significant other likes it better, a different color, things like that. That's not something we should be doing. So watching for things like that in your life could be something not so simple, like someone trying to guilt you into letting them stay with you and things like that. This is a card about changing without realizing you're doing it too. So I want you this week to look back on the past several years of your life and all the hardships and heartbreaks and pains that you've suffered. Not because I want you to dwell there. I want you to take a look, like something from a viewfinder, click that little button and go on to the next one quickly. The reason I'm asking you to do this, or Spirit's asking you to do this, Jilly, is not so that you can dwell there or relive these old pains and heartaches, but so that you can see at how strong you've become, how far you've come, all the things that you put yourself through or allowed others to put you through that for a fact you would never allow happen again. Okay. This is the universe trying to show you how far you've come, to give you that confidence to keep right on going, because no matter what, no matter how long we try to keep a situation or the exact same, or no matter how long we try to stay the exact same, it will never happen. We are constantly evolving emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, psychically, in general, as our human selves, right? We grow old. So I really think that that's something you should be taking a look at, okay? Because I think, Jilly, that you could be feeling a lot of guilt lately. If not, guilt is the emotion that I'm feeling coming in. And again, I'm not asking you to look at these past situations to get trapped there. I'm asking you to look at the mistakes that you made and to see how you've grown from the situations, but how you're never going to allow yourself to get there again. And then start working on not allowing yourself to get back there again. Okay. Now, Miss Shelley.
There you go. Now we're back on track.
Moonology. So then, Jilly, you should do that. the first thing I started, well, the main thing I started doing recently is buying clothes. Not that that's anything new for me, but I, excuse me, I bought this really beautiful blue steampunk dress, like from the Victorian era, just like the one Mike got me for my costume for Halloween. But it's blue. It's you pull the string and it goes up in the front and it stays long in the back, or it could be all one length. And I brought a couple of other shirts. And the reason I purchased these things, these Victorian, a Victorian kind of gown and these types of things now, is because I no longer feel like I have to consider another person when choosing what clothes I'm going to wear. My son, who does tattoos, next time he comes to visit, is bringing his tattoo kit because I've always wanted more. And I no longer have to consider someone else when putting marks on my own body, putting what I want there. I'm also considering getting some of my piercings back because I no longer have to consider somebody else's thoughts or feelings about what I'm doing to my own body. It's very liberating and freeing. A part of it's painful because a part of me still wants that person there and wants their input and wants to please them and make them happy. But the other part of me is like, wow, this is great. Look what I've just bought, and I can wear it without anyone judging me, right? Because this style of clothing is who I am. I love it. I love Victorian era. I love steampunk. I love the gothic look, so to speak. But I also love being a princess and, wearing fancy frilly dresses and shirts. And I have the professional look and, all these things. I can be whoever I want to be on that day and in that moment without having to take into consideration how someone else is going to feel about the choices that I'm making. Shelley, unleash your kindest self. First quarter moon in Capricorn. Are you being too hard on yourself or someone else? Do you think you need to be strict with yourself or other people to get where you want to go? Your challenge now is to be disciplined in terms of doing what needs to be done to get what you want without sucking all of the joy out of it. Feeling good about life is one of the most powerful tools you have when it comes to manifesting. So be kind and be your most charming self. It's good to be realistic, but you don't want to have the stench of reality so far up your nose that you can no longer smell life's perfumes. Butting heads with others just wears you out in the end. So get into the right mindset for manifesting by deciding you're no longer going to take the bait or provoke a situation. So once again, Miss Shelley, and thank you guys so much. Thank you. You guys are awesome. And always so encouraging. No, not crotchless. Okay. Once again, I see people trying to provoke you so that their rudeness, their unkindness, their bad behavior is possibly overlooked. So they provoke you, and then you attack, and then they say, see, look what Shelley did. I've seen this happening with you for a really long time, and I want so badly for you to understand that you're worth so much more than the people that are around you a lot of the time. So do your best to play through the pain, to smile in the face of adversity, to laugh and laugh off these, I'm sorry to say it, mean-spirited, idiotic people who just want to hurt someone different than them. Don't listen to what other people say. I mean, all these things that we learn when we're in grade school, right? Be who you are, Shelley, and keep your side of the street clean. Okay, do not be provoked, especially this week. There's someone coming in that is really going to try to get a rise out of you, try to get you to the point of no return where like there's no turning back. And then you have to sit and feel guilty about the way you reacted to their bad behavior. Okay, these are the type of people that Spirit has been trying to convince you to get rid of for the longest time. And I know it's not always possible to just walk away from people, places, and things that no longer serve us, but you are being called to step into your power. Okay. Once again, I'll say it, very repetitive, but understanding that when people behave this way, it has to do with them, not us. That is grace. Offer it to whoever you can this week, the best way you know how.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Jules Fawcett.
All right, Miss Jules. I'm going to use Aether creatures again. I know we started late, guys, but that couldn't be controlled. I am ending at 11 Eastern tonight, okay? We got to get some rest. Ghost Dragons has a very long drive tomorrow, and I have my daughter's party. So, and I still have to clean up and shower and all that good stuff. So, okay, this card went to pop out. So, Miss Jules, you got Potamon. Potamon. And it does look like a Pokemon, and it's card number 44. You got it in the upright position. If the Potamon appears to you right side up, it is a message to put genuine focus and effort into strengthening a relationship or potentially multiple relationships. What could you do to fortify your connection to make the other person feel loved or to improve the relationship? Potamon teaches that the minute you enter into a relationship, there are now three entities: you, the other person, and the relationship itself. At any given time, your energy, which feeds whatever you get, which feeds whatever it is given to, can be given to yourself, your partner, or the relationship. Sometimes energy focused toward the relationship bleeds over and feeds one of the people in the relationship. This is especially true if energy focused on the relationship takes the pressure off of one person, but more often than not, it doesn't. For example, when we go into a relationship therapy or to a couples workshop, this strengthens the relationship, but it does not feed energy to either person. Instead, both people are feeding their energy into the third entity, which is the relationships. One of the biggest problems in relationships is that one person isn't getting fed with enough loving energy. It is rare that we are with someone who is genuinely only interested in taking within a relationship. More often than not, it's if someone seems self-centered or a relationship seems one way, it is either because they are feeding the relationship and not the other person in the relationship, or because they are feeding the other person in ways that don't feed the other person. Sometimes you can do things for the other person or for the relationship that you like as well. So it can be something that feeds them and feeds you too. But Potamon is here to remind you that doing something for the other person, specifically in a relationship, always feeds the relationship in the same way that feeding a mother always feeds the baby in her womb. People who are being nourished by someone else feel good about the relationship. It makes the relationship secure. So the best way to create a good relationship is to feed the other person with energy and do loving things for them specifically and in a direct way. This doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, okay? Jules, it could actually be any type of relationship that you could feel is out of balance in your life, but that you're not ready to get rid of yet, okay? And there's a reason the universe is offering you this opportunity to understand. Good night, Kat. I'm sorry you didn't get a reading.
She was actually first.
I know. So, okay. The universe is giving you a chance and an opportunity to understand the dynamic of this particular and specific relationship, one that you might feel is kind of waning, but that you're not ready to let go of yet. Remember that just because you feel like you're feeding the other person, you may not be. You may be giving them what you want them to feed you. Okay, so look at, the relationships in your life, not the toxic, chaotic, codependent ones, okay? The ones that you feel are generally healthy, and see what kind of kindness you can offer the other person this week. It's going to make you feel really good, really confident, okay? And maybe it's something that you'll learn to automatically do in relationships going forward, because I do see that as the hope of spirit for you. Oh.
Okay.
My hands are itchy and I don't have my lotion. I get all itchy with spirit. Who's next?
Ralph.
All right, Ralph. Let's do Journey of a Lonely Soul. Imposing Impediment. Card number 24. Rising up from the forest path, the towering figures form an impenetrable wall. Their intimidating height is nearly as off-putting as the waves of despondency and loss that flow forth from them. Some roads are not safe to travel on, Ralph. You can accomplish much more through hard work and determination, but there are limitations to be aware of, and in this moment, it would be wise to be wary. In many cases, the toxicity of others is what poisons the path ahead. Difficulties and adversity have presented themselves, or something about your present course may be giving you an uneasy feeling. To turn aside need not mean failure. Perhaps this is a path that can be more easily traversed in the future when you are better prepared or have companions with you to help shoulder the burden. To press on despite the warning in your heart is to invite needless suffering. There are many paths toward your goal. Seek out a different route through the forest and be very cautious about whom you trust at this time. There may be those who wish to attach their own personal pains to you. So, Ralph, something, Zerg, it just kind of occurs to me when I think of the person and like their profile image or their name, the deck will pop into my head. So, Ralph, first of all, someone is very untrustworthy, or some people around you. But the main thing here is that you're getting an inkling that something isn't right somewhere, either at work, in a romantic relationship. It's like something is either no longer working for you, or you're getting a feeling that it's not working for the other person, et cetera, et cetera. And the universe is saying, don't ignore this, okay? In fact, investigate it, see why you're feeling this way. And possibly you might have to move on from this. Maybe not forever, but if it doesn't feel right, it's not right, okay? And there are, like I said, people who are trying to steer you wrong, who are trying to give you the wrong advice very selfishly, and also who are going to lie right to your face. So just for example, and I'm not saying this is what is happening, it's just an example. Say your significant other, you think they're cheating on you. Normally I'd say approach them, ask them. But in this case, and in most cases, they're not going to tell you the truth, okay? So whoever this is you have this feeling about is going to blatantly lie to you. And they may have others willing to lie for them, which is why this week and or in this situation, it's best you follow your intuition, follow your heart, and move on. Do not try to fix whatever this is, because it's not fixable in this moment. Okay. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, which is very hard for me to believe, but if you have no idea what and or who I'm talking about, by the end of the week you will, and that's when this message should come into play.
Tracy, next.
Tracy, I am going to use the Fairy Tale Oracle for you. Sometimes these are super long ones, guys. I don't use it often. Oh, thank you. And thank all of you guys for coming in. And again, giving us something to do and people to hang out with. Okay. Tracy, Fair, Brown, and Trembling, card number 38, and it is the card of gifts. Okay, this one's not too bad. Good night, Ralph and Cassie Francis. Huh?
No, I was just waving.
Oh, I thought you were going like this. I was like, they can see you.
No, I was waving.
Weirdo. Tracy, I'll have, said Trembling, a dress as white as snow and green shoes for my feet. Then the henwife put on the cloak of darkness, clipped a piece from the old clothes the young woman had on, and asked for the whitest robes in the world and the most beautiful that could be found, and a pair of green shoes. That moment she had the robe and the shoes, and she brought them to Trembling, who put them on. When Trembling was dressed and ready, the henwife said, I have a honey bird here to sit on your right shoulder and a honey finger to put on your left. At the door stands a milk-white mare and a golden saddle for you to sit on and a golden bridle to hold in your hand. I've never heard of half these fairy tales. Thank you. I enjoy that you guys enjoy listening. Thank you. That's awesome. An Irish king has 3 daughters. Their names are Fair, Brown, and Trembling. Fair and Brown are pretty, vivacious, beloved, and spoiled, and Trembling is mocked for her nervousness, her shy nature, and her quiet self, and no one at all mentions her great beauty. Until, for there is always an until, she rallies courage to go to the church where she usually cannot go, for she is kept at home to cook and clean while the other girls go to flirt and show off their fine gowns. One day while at home, she is visited by a very, very old woman who asks her what she would wear if she could. As Trembling describes the gown, it is woven about her, a gift from the crone. She has a bird upon each shoulder and a fine horse to ride upon, and is told by the old henwife to ride to the church but not to enter it. And thus begins the tale of enchantment that is Fair, Brown, and Trembling. When this tale comes to you, you are being told to manifest and create what it is you wish for, using magical means and the wisdom of the old wise ones. Tracy, you are not to accept a fate that others have allotted to you. And like Trembling, you will overcome your shyness, your nerves, and all of the humiliation you've endured, and you will be loved for who you truly are. What a beautiful message. It is also in its way a warning to stay away from places of worship, to make sure that the wild, that nature is your home and your temple. I'm going to clarify that, don't worry. It also tells us when we have been gifted with good fortune, to only accept the hand of a person who respects us for who we are, who will protect us, fight for us, and search for us if ever we become lost. In short, it is a tale about valuing yourself and knowing that your very strangeness and or shyness can be what makes you most valued, most loved, and most precious of all to the right people. It is also a tale of knowing that the good fortune you draw to you can sometimes be coveted by others within your family who have never been kind to you in the first place. Know this, if the good fortune has come to you alone, then it is yours alone to work with. Do not give it away. It will never bring happiness to another because it is yours. It will only bring happiness to you. Meanings: divine assistance, working outside of traditional religion, enchantment in its own reward, generations to repay a good turn gladly done, bonds between human and fairy, long-lasting love, do not dim the light of another, wisdom of the crone. So this is kind of a lot, but I think we can break it down here, okay? In fact, I know we can. Just give me a second. So sorry, I need my nicotine. So, okay. Tracy, I just want to get the religion thing out of the way before I have trolls in here being like, Gemma hates church and tells people not to go. What this is saying is you may want to, thank you so much, Ralph and Cassie Francis, you may want to explore aspects of spirituality on top of religion if religion is something you already explore. I feel like there's abundance and blessing and good fortune coming into you that if you don't become more spiritually aligned, then you're not going to recognize it. And also others are going to try to lay claim to it. Like it's something that they worked for or they had to endure the heartache and pain for. Unfortunately, this is a beware of certain people in your family or in your close-knit circle, because some of them, not all, but some of them, and you'll probably be able to weed these people out, especially once you hear the rest of this message, is like they're in it for what they can get from you. They're in it because you know you're probably not going to stand up for yourself so much that they need to go away. They know that you're not going to really say no because you know you're the nice person. There are people taking advantage of you. And if you can just stand up and weed these people out, get them out, the universe is going to work with you to bring everything you've ever dreamed of right to you, to wrap you in its comfort, to wrap you in its joy, the peace that it's finally going to bring. It's not going to happen this week, but this week is when you should start becoming more spiritually aligned, becoming more in tune with what you came here to do, to learn, to accomplish, and figuring out where you're at on your spiritual path, on your soul journey. Okay. And really not accepting anything less than what you give in all of your relationships, romantic and otherwise. All right. And I feel like once you become more in tune with your spirituality, you are going to have to watch which religious institutions you kind of acclimate yourself with, yeah, that's the right way to say that. because there could be a lot of judgment. Like certain people from a certain religion in my life always accuse me of necromancy and devil worship because I read Oracle. So do you know what I mean? So I stay away from those people, not because they're bad or I have anything against them, but because they don't live my life. They don't know what I experience and they have no clue what's best for me. I do, right?
Ready? Well, I called Michigan, but he may be getting ready to.
They usually just come in and say hi.
Yeah. And Peggy laughing. I don't know if they're still here. Tony family. Kirby, you still here?
So Peggy, Tony the Rock fans, Kirby's 100, Michigan UFO.
And if they're not here, if none of them answer, we'll give them a time. Then Pixie, Laura.
Lara, okay.
Been trying to watch everybody, that's why I've been kind of quiet.
Peggy split, okay.
Okay.
If she wants a reading earlier next time, just let me know. Tracy, you're always welcome. You guys are always very welcome. If she has to go for any reason, usually I'm okay with that. It's just like when people do it every single week or like every other week, and they come in and get the reading and leave. That's when I have issues with that. Joel, okay. So Joel, let's do yours first because you're the first one that answered. And that's kind of how I'm going to go forward from here because I do have a lot to do tomorrow and I love hanging out with you guys. But if nobody's here, then we're done. So Joel, I'm going to use Moonology, okay? Take advice. Oh, take Gemma's advice. I thought she was telling me to take the advice. I'm like, what happened?
I keep hitting the thing. I'm sorry. There we go.
All right, Joel. Joel L, sorry. Joe L. It's hard to remember. You're going to have to remind me every time. Joe L. But I don't mind. Whoa. Okay. Leave the past behind, Joe L. Last quarter moon in Capricorn. Did you call Darling Deb?
Not yet.
Okay. Because those people are not answering. So let's move on to the next few after I read for Joe, okay? I thought he had given me the rest of the list, guys. I'm sorry.
No.
Like I said, we're going to do whoever answers. So just after I read this, start calling the next batch. Joe, something is standing between what you want and how you can get it, and that's okay. Now you know it's there. You can do something about it. You just need to be strategic. It's wonderful to go for things with a childlike, carefree attitude, but drawing this card suggests that you need a proper plan as well. Leave the past behind. You need to move through. You may need to move through and clear a criticism someone has made of you, which has somehow burned itself into your brain. You have work to do. This moon has a bright, shining energy, but a reserved pressure is piling on. The great thing about knowing what stands between you and your goal is that you can do something about it. Your manifestation affirmation for this week, the only way out is through. Yes, any spirit of love, light, peace, a higher elevation or vibration, frequency, or whatever you want to call it, will not scare you. If it does accidentally, once it knows that it's scaring you or has scared you, it will stop. So get rid of it. All right. So, Joe, this is not so much about leaving the past behind, which we should leave negative aspects of our past behind and learn and grow and move forward from and with them, right? This is about something someone said to you that has stuck with you. A lie about yourself that someone else said that you continue to believe. And I feel like this week it's going to be really important because if it wasn't, this card wouldn't have come out. So it's like you're going to get an opportunity or an offer is going to be placed in front of you, but you may hesitate to take it even though it's amazing because you're thinking about something someone said to you. Don't do that. Throw caution to the wind and take this opportunity of abundance. Don't listen to what others think about you or say about you, as hard as that may be, especially if it's something that happened so long ago. Okay. This is something that kind of burrowed into your brain and got stuck there. You've got to find a way to get past whatever this was that was said. Okay. And a good way to do that is by ignoring that voice of fear, or that voice that comes from a place of fear, and just taking any opportunities that come along, whether that be, business opportunities, love opportunities, relationship opportunities, etc. Okay. Yeah, he didn't call everyone, guys. I just thought he did. So Pixie, we are going to use Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. Okay, so if that's even better, if you know what it is. It's not so much about who said it, though. It's about what was said and the fact that it was not true. And Spirit is challenging you to step out of that mind frame and space of lack, okay, and of believing these things about yourself that are not true. Simply because someone close to you said them, that doesn't make them true. And the best way to do that, again, is to move out of that place of fear. Ignore that silly voice in your head and take the opportunities presented to you at the right time. If you feel it's the right time, do it. Once you do it once, you're going to see that that voice is, not right. And those words aren't true. And you're going to be able to move on much faster than if you keep yourself stuck in that mind frame. All right. Lara. You got Hell, Hel, the card of acceptance. And it is a deep card, card number 6. Things can never stay the same. Change must be accepted. Be flexible. Keep walking through difficult circumstances. Do not stop and get stuck. Acceptance allows you to move on faster. Surrender what is no longer yours. In the Norse afterlife, there were a number of places you might go when you died. If you died fighting bravely on the battlefield, you might end up in Valhalla with the god Odin. Dying courageously, you might equally end up with the goddess Freya in her hall, the battlefield. Alternatively, you might end up with Hell. Hell was both a goddess and a place. Hell, the goddess, was a Jotun, a giant, and the daughter of the god Loki. Not to be confused in any way with the concept of the Christian hell, this was not a place of punishment, but just an underworld. When people died in a not particularly courageous way, they went to be with Hell, a kind of benevolent middle place. It was a long and tough journey to travel to Hell, and it was considered lucky to finally arrive. It could be a cold and lonely walk, so during funerals, the dead were provided with things to make their journey easier. A sturdy pair of walking shoes were often funerary gifts. You wanted to make sure dead folks had a good pair of shoes for the journey, lest those shoes break or wear out, and they would be forced to come back to life as a revenant. You also didn't want to be stuck in a place that wasn't here nor there because you had no shoes. Despite the pervasive images of Vikings as savage warriors, history reveals that their martial expertise and penchant for war was only a very small part of their story and who they were. They were innovative boat builders and navigators and incredible traders and innovators. They helped sophisticated courts and allowed women to inherit, rule territory, lead ritual, and even fight in battle should they wish to. They also lived in accordance with a wide-ranging mythos, a spiritual belief system that was shamanic, animistic, and pantheonic all at once, but that went by no formal name. The Norse people simply practiced their beliefs by taking right action in accordance with the stories and rituals passed down through the generations, and the idea of going to hell was a part of this. There was a deep understanding and acceptance of dying as a part of life, although a person shouldn't die in vain or in a cowardly manner. Virtue and living a good life in service to the society and gods ensured that death could be accepted and a new life in the afterworld begun. Your plant companion for this week, Lara, is crowberry, and your crystal companion, Ghost Dragons, hand me that purple stone right there in the cross. That's pink. In the moon. The purple stone. Yeah. No, that's blue. The purple stone. Thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay. He's like, this one, it's pink, then blue. This, if you can't really see the purpliness of it because of my lights, this is through light. Okay. It's gorgeous. It looks like amethyst with a lot of white in it. Can you put that back, honey?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay. So Lara, change, accepting change. Okay. And also being flexible. Okay. being able to move on from, again, people, places, things, situations, relationships, etc., jobs that no longer serve you, but not having to stop to reevaluate everything every time you do this, right? And that can be really hard for empaths and light workers, okay? It's like something is changing so fast and so quickly, so drastically for you. And you're like, oh, again, why is this happening again? And it's going to lead you possibly back to thinking of the last time this happened and the time before that. This is your karmic lesson, whatever this is. And the universe is encouraging you to maybe take one quick glance back and then keep it pushing, okay? This is not a time to dwell on the situation, on why it went wrong, on what happened, whose fault, blame, shame, whatever game that we do. Just accept your part in it and move forward. And you may or may not know what this is, but I feel like you are getting some news in the coming week or two where you're going to really have to make a decision. Are you going to accept things as they are and kind of live in them? Or are you going to move on to a space where things can be as you wish them to be? And that's your decision to make. That's for you to decide. But do not let anyone else influence that decision, including letting them influence by way of how you feel about them. Like, you shouldn't keep staying in a relationship with someone who cheats on you because you can't bear to see them with someone else. Like that type of thing. Next.
Okay, Mike Roberts.
Okay, Stanislaw, I don't mind helping you, but one, you can't just come in here insulting women. Two, if you're willing to wait your turn. And three, if you have a specific question, the details on how to ask me those and get answers is in the description box. But I can pull one card for you at the end if I get everyone else first. I don't mind helping out, but that's kind of an offensive quote, and we don't do that in here. Who's next?
Mike Roberts.
Michael. Mike, I am going to use for you. Let's do night fairies. Good night, Larry.
Good night,
Thank you
sir.
so much. No, not for you. Thank you, Lara.
Thank you very much.
I got it. Oh, do I? Yep, there we go. Thank you so much for anyone who's donated to PayPal and Cash App tonight, as well as always, your donations really help me go forward with this channel and bringing you the content that I would like to continue bringing you. Okay, Mike, card number 14, the card of transformation. Oh, thank you so much, Lara. Yay. I love goodies. Don't worry about it. I'm always here for you, girl. Mike, the ugly duckling has grown up. The fairy of transformation calls us to embrace the power of change in our lives. From the ugly gray gosling to the beautiful and polished swan, we are called to be in a cycle of constant change and growth as we progress through our lives. Letting go, embracing change, out with the old and in with the new. Affirmation, I embrace change and evolve beautifully. I am graceful. I am growing. In times of tumultuous change in your life, remember to take some time to journal as you welcome the fairy of transformation into your heart. Where else have you heard positive affirmations and journaling? After all is said and done, try to look back on your journal after some time to see if perhaps some of your fears or hesitancies were unfounded. What did you learn, and was the change you went through ultimately for the better? So still in the process of change, right? Still in the process of becoming who you were meant to be and no longer being held back by the fear response, the self-limiting beliefs, whether they came from you or whether they came from, the way that you've been treated by others, things that others have said. Moving past all of that and accepting yourself for who you really are, because only you know who you are. The problem is most of us, myself included, a lot of the time are so disconnected from ourselves because we rely on what other people are telling us or how other people are treating us to give us value. And that's just not acceptable. Mike, you have to go out there and accept that abundance is your birthright. Expect to win, expect to succeed, expect to have only the best, whatever the best is for you in relationships, as far as how you're living, where you live, where you work. No, it's never going to be overnight. But the quicker you get started manifesting all this positivity, manifesting your dreams, your goals, moving forward with your ambitions, the faster you can become the swan instead of the gosling, the ugly duckling, right? This has nothing to do with physical or aesthetic beauty. I'm talking about inside, your energy, your frequency, your life force, which is still in this stuck, stale, and stagnant place because it wasn't happening fast enough for you. That's a lot of our problems. We're impatient as human beings, but the fact of the matter is, slow and steady really does win the race, when the race is to get to our highest potential, our highest frequency. Start your manifestations again. Stop listening to what everyone else says about what you should be doing, how you should be doing it, how you should be acting, what you should be wearing. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. That's all background noise to the soundtrack of your life that you should be conducting, creating.
Salvador. And while she's getting that ready, I need to know if these people are here. Slow Motion, Zorg, or Zerg, David Sinzer. I know Darling Deb's here. I think Crowley left. Mark Webster, and TV Dean, and then we'll do Lotus, and then you're done.
Okay, so the people I know are here, like you said, Darling Deb.
Yep, he's here.
I think that's pretty much it.
I think it is too.
If you haven't been read yet, how about this? Let me know that you're here in the next 10 minutes. It's 10:16 Eastern. Let me know by 10:30, 14 minutes, that you're here. If you don't, I'm not going to read for you. This is Salvatore.
Yep.
No, don't ever. You're welcome, honey. Don't ever feel bad about it, Mike. That's the thing. It's what we all do. It's just now you recognize it and you move on from it and you move to a better space of self-acceptance. And it's really hard to get to that space. Yes, I see you guys. Darling Deb and Salvatore, you guys. This one's Salvatore right here. Then I'm going to read for Darling Deb. And then as you guys answer, I will read for you. Nagisi, Salvador. It's card number 19. Zerg, okay.
Okay.
TD, do you want a reading or are you just hanging out?
They're just listening.
Okay, good night, Mike. No worries. Hit me up whenever.
Yes, well, Mike.
Salvador, if Nagisi has appeared to you right side up, you are being short-sighted in the situation at hand. You may be taking actions that guarantee short-term success or relief, but long-term failure or suffering. You may be alarmed by something in the present and, as a result, grab for an immediate solution without thinking deeply about the context, the roots of the problem itself, and or the possible unintended consequences that might ensue. You may be seeing the smaller picture, but not the bigger picture. You may be making decisions by focusing on information that is immediately related to your judgment and ignoring less prominent but crucial pieces of information. In the situation at hand, recognize the short-sighted thinking you are caught in. Because people tend to react instead of think, their actions are often based on insufficient information. For this reason, it is important to understand that any happening in the world is by nature complex. Ask yourself, how am I being short-sighted right now? Nagisi warns you to never lose touch with cause and effect, especially as it applies to long-term consequences. Don't lose sight of the future or the bigger picture. You must center yourself You must center your life on your timeless, unchanging principles and values if you want to create a fulfilling life. I feel like there is something going on in your life or something that's about to come in, okay, Salvador, that you're not seeing the bigger picture, and it's like it seems kind of too good to be true, so you want to jump in and grab it up real quick. But the fact of the matter is, when something seems too good to be true, it usually is. Like I always say, when the price of a house seems too good to be true, it's usually haunted, right? And that's what's going on here. Something that may seem too good to be true. It's kind of like, okay, say you do find your dream house at half of what it's worth. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can actually afford this. How is this possible? I'm not even going to ask. Here's all my money. And then it turns out that it has like electrical issues or plumbing issues that are impossible to fix. And you have to, put even more money into it. Something like that. Any opportunity that presents itself this week, Salvador, I want you to play the tape all the way forward. If I accept this opportunity, where will I be in a week, 2 weeks, a month, 5 years? Is this a long-term situation, or am I just thinking of instant gratification? And that should help kind of weed out any opportunity that really isn't for you right now. Darling Deb.
Yes.
I'm going to use Night Fairies again. I love this deck. You guys see the little fairy necklace my mom got me? It's silver and it's got pink wings. You can't really see it because of my lights, but it's really cute. Okay. Darling Deb, Hello's Calling. Card number 15. You are very welcome, and thank you. I'm glad it made sense. Something wicked this way comes, Deb. The Fairy of the Hallows welcomes us to the season of fall of death of the great cold. She brings with her a jack-o'-lantern fire to warm us, a reminder of the eternal flame of the soul that lives within us all. In the most remote and distant realm of the night fairies, she asks us to play in the dark and confront our fears, coming in from the cold, light in the darkness, dying for rebirth, and purging by fire. Affirmation, I am a light in the dark times and a witch for all seasons, evil, cackling, encouraged. Play in the dark just a little more in life. When the hollows call and things get scary, remember that you are, in fact, at home in the dark. Miss Night Fairy, make peace with the more morbid side of life when the time is right. It can be very fun to play in the dark. Not taking things so seriously, Deb, okay? So confronting your fears. Again, this is another really good message theme of this week, like not allowing fear to rule us. So again, this opportunity for advancement, whether it be spiritual or on a soul level, in love, work, whatever, in life in general, right? Coming in, and it's so major and so abundant that you can't even believe it's happening and you're afraid. A lot of people don't have a fear of failure, and they don't realize, which I've realized recently, I don't have a fear of failure. My fear is of success because I'm so not used to it. I'm so used to failing, or at least so I think, or I was until I put this together, that my fear is actually of success. So now I'm going out of my way to be as successful as possible in everything that I endeavor. And I use that as an example because I think that's what's going on here. It's like you just can't believe your good luck that something like this would actually come to you. But the fact of the matter was, it was attracted to you because of your frequency, because of your vibration, which is probably on the rise, whether you realize it or not. So do those guided sleep meditations. Do that chakra alignment meditation, especially focus on the heart chakra. Do them all first, okay? And then move on to like the heart and the root and do them all one by one, focusing after that on the heart. Because there is a significant opportunity for growth and change coming in, but you are going to have to make some changes in your life. Like maybe you get an opportunity for the job of your dreams where you're going to be set for the rest of your life financially, but you have to move to another country and your significant other doesn't want to follow. There's that where, what do you do? And that's what you have to figure out, what's best for you. What is best for your spiritual alignment? Achieving this dream or staying in the relationship? That all really depends on you. And if it's relationship related, then it's like something better is either coming in, or, and I mean better meaning better for you. It doesn't have to be a better quality person, someone better suited for you. Or maybe it's just time for an ending of whatever relationship this is. And in order to receive this amazing abundance that's meant for you and meant for you right now, you're going to have to clear some space for it to come in. And it's going to be painful. It's going to be hard. It's going to be scary. Just remember, like, scary is what we do, right? Let's do this. Be more gung-ho about it. I would start by being more spiritually aligned, by aligning yourself more with your spirituality. And then you'll be able to make wiser, more spirit-focused, if you will, decisions in life, in love, and in general. Who's next?
That was it, unless Dean wants to go ahead and have a reading. He just said he was hanging out, but if he wants a reading, then you can do Lotus and be done.
All right, TD, let me know. I did not see you if you answered, and I apologize because I did ask, but I didn't look.
He just said he was hanging, but I figured I'd give him another chance, and then he can do Lotus.
So I'm going to read for Lotus Girl right now using Fairy Tale Oracle. Oh, Zerg. We have to do Zerg.
Oh, that's right. He's here. I forgot.
All right.
Sorry, Zerg.
Zerg, for you, I am going to use Wisdom of the House of Night, and then we'll move on to Miss Lotus's reading. We'll do Zerg, TD Dean, and then
Okay.
Lotus.
Okay.
Zerg, you got the Fledgling, card number 1. Dear one, when you receive this symbol of the fledgling, know that you are blessed with a time of learning new things. This is a time for you to remember that you cannot know things until you experience them. Being in this evolving state means you may stumble a bit. Don't expect to be perfect. Now is the time for being gentle with yourself as you step into your destiny to become the beautiful person you're meant to be. When the fledgling appears to you, it is a sign of new growth and wonderful new opportunities. Step forward with curiosity and a willingness to learn and discover. So, Zerg, I would say if we're looking at this on a weekly scale, which is mainly what I do here, I feel like this is also, and I've been saying this all night, not because it's fun to say, but because it's the message that I'm getting, that this is a part of a spiritual awakening for you. Okay. Learning all of these new things about spirituality, testing some of them out, seeing what works for you and what doesn't, and being able to understand that you don't have to explain any of this to anyone else. And if you do, they do not have to accept it. It could be an exciting time of learning new things, not just about spirituality in general, but about yourself and where you fit into the grand scheme of things, what kind of light worker you are, how to become more spiritually aligned and more in tune with your destiny, because abundance is all of our birthrights as humans. Though that is our birthright: abundance, blessing, joy, happiness, right? Pride in ourselves, not being prideful or narcissistic, egotistical, but being proud of who we are, regardless of what others say. And I know that's a really hard concept to get used to. I just feel like the universe is going to be throwing a lot of new things at you this week. And it's up to you whether or not you want to explore them. But I wouldn't necessarily decline every single one of them, right? I wouldn't, just for instance, say you were raised one religion and that religion doesn't believe in Oracle, but you want to look more into it. Or that religion doesn't believe in the term spirituality. It just believes in the word religion and only believes in, one way of doing things, but you want to explore aligning your chakras. You know what I mean? Don't make your decision based on other people's beliefs, either about you, your life, or religion, spirituality in general. Okay. open the door and allow spirit to work in your life. All you have to do is be accepting. All you have to do is be willing. Okay. And I feel like you're going on this wonderful and beautiful new journey in your life if you should choose to accept these energies into your life. Good night, darling Deb. Thank you so much for coming in. All right, TD, I am going to use, let's do Moonology again. Yeah, that was a pretty cool looking card. Most of them are. I really love the artwork on all of them. I mean, I couldn't even choose just one deck. I mean, I think the Fairy Tale Oracle is my favorite as far as the artwork. I just love the way it's done. But there are so many, like the Wonderland Oracle, you know, for sure. I love that one. The artwork. Again, all of them. I don't even know why I'm trying to pick one. All right, Mr. TD Dean. And thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with us. Do not forget, Zerg, you are so welcome. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with us again and trusting us enough to come back. Don't forget, Monday, December 5th starts 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 2-hour live topic discussions with myself and Ghost Dragons. No more morning pre-recorded uploads, at least for the time being. Also, my other channel, Moon Bear Oracle. Please go on over and subscribe to it, because I am going to start doing monthly / anytime readings, one for each astrological sign, maybe even weekly at some point. And it's just going to be me and the cards, guys. No comments, but you can always email me for personals. Email me now for personals, for signed copies of any or all of my 3 books that I have out, and the Unseen Paranormal podcast with Eric Sims. My episode just aired today. I'm going to try to share it, but it's not, I don't think it's on YouTube. I think it's on like Spotify and a whole bunch of different podcatchers. Don't forget Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Podcast with Wayne and Michelle. I did a episode with them last week, which I did share in my community tab and on my Facebook. I will try to remember to share again tonight. If not, I'll try to do it tomorrow. And Paraflix Network, Season 3, Episode 6. It's a double feature of disembodied voices with Dr. Kelly Renee Schutz. It's $3.99 a month, but they give you a week free trial. Check me out on there, please. All right, TD Dean. Thank you, Jasmine D. All right. So we're going to do Jasmine after TD, then Lotus. Then we got to end it for tonight, guys, because I have a big day, and Ghost Dragons has like a 9-hour drive tomorrow in the morning. Jasmine, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us, for liking, subscribing, and welcome to the Madhouse. Welcome to our family. TD Dean, full moon in Capricorn. Take a reality check. This card has 2 sides to it, literally and metaphorically. If you've been worrying about something, the good news is that you shouldn't waste another moment worrying, as this never helps. Some things only happen once, and that can be really good news. If you're wondering about how something you're keen on is going to turn out, what an odd way to put that. This card could be a sign that you've hit a roadblock. If you want to change that, you're going to need to put in an extra effort with your manifesting work. Find a balance between facing your reality and being kind to yourself and others. If you're not happy with the message of this card, use the old trick of finding the best thought you can about your situation and go from there. Your manifestation affirmation for this week: everything is always working out in my favor. Jasmine, you have great, great energy. Nice big energy. I love it. So taking a reality check, I know people say this in like a bad way, like it's time for you to take a reality check. That's not what this card is about. I feel like this card, TD, is just telling you that you need to start questioning some things about your reality, like people's loyalties. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, and how are you actively making your way to that goal? Things like that. It's not so much that you're not living in reality. I feel like you are living kind of maybe moment to moment without putting much thought into these things. There are some people around you that are negatively affecting your energy, your space, and your decisions. And I think that's more what this card is talking about. Again, it's another theme of the night, but not focusing on what others want for us, what others think we should be doing, what others think we should be feeling, wearing, where we should be working. Like really taking a reality check and understanding that it is you who has to live your own life. Mind over matter. Those who mind don't matter. Those who matter don't mind. I swear that's going to be a part of my merch because it's so true. You're the only one that has to live with your decisions, good and or bad. So if someone's trying to give you heartfelt and meaningful advice, like that's really nice of them. But no matter how much from a place of love and kindness that they're coming from, you still don't have to take their advice or do what they want you to do just because they're being so sweet about it. At the end of the day, you have the right to do, say, think, feel whatever you want and be whoever you want. And I really think that's what you should start giving some thought to this week. Also, a very specific message that I'm getting for you, TD, is that maybe reevaluate why certain people are telling you certain or giving you certain advice, telling you certain things, right? I think a lot of them don't even realize how selfish they're being with this advice. It's like they're thinking of how your decisions are going to affect them instead of how your decisions are going to affect you. And that's why the advice that they give you is not something you should even be considering. Let's move on to Miss Jasmine. Let's do Miss Lotus, and then let's move out of here. I am going to use Myths and Mermaids. Okay, because you're new, I am going to allow you that question. Normally questions are saved for personals, but usually when people come in, they do have a burning question that they want answered. I always say that I can't guarantee you an answer when I'm pulling just one card, but I will certainly try to get you some advice from that. TD, you're very welcome. All you guys welcome. Good night to anyone who's heading out. So you want to know, going to be your boyfriend, if the connection is going to be a long-term commitment. Okay, let's see if I can get you an answer with one card here. Oh, come on. Okay, you got Mermaid with Butterflies, card number 30 in the shadow position. A lovely young mermaid gazes longingly at the beautiful multicolored butterflies ascending above her out of a rippling pond. Her heart longs to go with them and escape, the mire in which she finds herself. It is time to rise above your current circumstances. You have been content with lesser and corrupted things for too long. Look inside your most inner self and realize that you are not happy with certain aspects of your situation. Deep down, you realize that you are better than your circumstances. Perhaps your circle of friends is pulling you down or in a bad direction. Perhaps your work is beneath your skills, abilities, and aspirations. But you are having trouble breaking free. It could be your home life, your significant other, your neighborhood, or your domicile itself. That is not up to your standards. However, just like the butterfly mermaid, you have seen a path to peace and purity. Shake off the corrupt acquaintances and the duties that are beneath you. Aspire for more spiritually, emotionally, and intellectually. Take inspiration from the noble butterfly. Take wing and rise above. It's time for a reality check, and it's time to be realistic. Your goals could be too lofty for where you are right now. Instead, find humility in helping others who are worse off than you are. Volunteer for a cause you admire and rediscover your humility. Now, I don't like to really give relationship advice based off of one random card when I know absolutely nothing about what's going on. But based on this card, I would say the answer to your question is no. But like I said, I don't normally do answers to questions in this stream because of this reason. So Jasmine, if you want to email me at GemmaJadeParanormal@gmail.com and find out how to get a personal, or just look in the description box for that information. It'll be easier if I can ask you a few more questions. My regular personals are seven card spreads. And I can do like a love reading specifically for you. But if I'm basing it just off this card, I would say no. And give me 1 second. 1 second, guys. Yeah, I thought I had my love cards down here with me, but I do not. So hit me up for a personal. I appreciate you too. And that doesn't mean like ignore this. See, in the right position, butterflies mean freedom, freedom of expression, freedom of love, this kind of peaceful energy of change and transformation. But when we look at it in the shadow, it's the exact opposite, right? They're kind of like falling without gravity and just kind of landing where they may. And that's kind of why the card gave the message of probably it's not the best relationship for you right now. Did we just have one more question?
Yes, somebody popped in.
All right, Casey. After Casey, we have to end. I've got a lot going on tomorrow, and that's why I tell you guys. But you seem new, so and usually Casey, if you don't have a lot of time, then you got to hit me up for a personal, because I don't like jump people. Like, people have been in here since 7:15 waiting, but because we're finishing up, I can pull your card right now. If you don't have a lot of time and you still want a reading, then I would say to contact me privately, actually. And just like I told Jasmine, it's really hard for me to get an accurate reading to a specific question based off of one card, but I will try, and I've never been wrong yet. So let's do Casey here. What is the question? Are you on the right path? Okay. One card compared to a personal, which is 7 cards with more information. I mean, but again, I've never given an inaccurate answer. So let's see. This is for Casey. Okay. It's kind of like, so you got first quarter moon in Virgo, which is assessing the situation. The immediate message that I got, I'll just tell you before I read this card, is that you already know the answer. Stop, breathe, and take stock. Perhaps you've taken on too much. Now is the time to be reliable and practical. Laziness will be your worst enemy. Also, don't be too influenced by the quote unquote crowd and what they're saying. Do you still want what you used to want and as much? If so, are you really doing what needs to be done to make your dreams real? Express how you feel, but do it without too much self-criticism or criticism of others. Make an honest inventory about where you could do more to manifest your dreams. The energies at play here are a mix of flirtatious and shy, inquiring and hesitant. You need to work them in your favor. This card asks you to be mentally flexible. Whatever challenges you face, your current situation is unlikely to be at a total impasse. So what this card is basically saying is, if you feel like certain areas of your life are out of alignment with what you feel your path is, then take a step back and try to look objectively. So basically, what advice would you give to your mom or your daughter or your sister or somebody very close to you if they were looking for the advice that you're looking for? I feel like you do know deep down inside where you're kind of not on your path and where you are. And what you should do, these are weekly readings, so starting this week, is start focusing on where you are. Slowly moving yourself away from where you know that you're not. And again, if you want more information, give me more information in an email and I will give you a personal reading. Last reading of the night, guys. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me for all of these hours. You guys are so amazing every week. This is for Miss Lotus Girl. Let me wave my hands so she knows it's me. Okay.
In the comments.
All right. Thank you guys so much. You guys are all so sweet, and I appreciate and love all of you so much. All right, Miss Lotus Girl, Fairy Tale Oracle. The White Snake, the card of understanding. Oh, thank you, Jules. That's so sweet. To the new gemstones, Gemma is dead balls accurate with her readings. She has yet to disappoint me one time. She's helped me sort through many things in my life and know when I need to make changes. Jules, thank you so much. That's so sweet. And I love the term dead balls accurate because I'm now going to use it. Like, I'm dead balls accurate. Got to get it personal. I love it. You guys are the actual best. Moving into your new home soon as it's in escrow. So yeah, so Casey, these areas of your life, you're on the right track. And if you focus, oh, what's up, girl? You know, I thought I saw it spelled K and C before, but I didn't put it together. That is awesome. And if you focus more on these areas, right, you're going to bring in more abundance and more things that are aligned with your path, Casey, because that's what you're focusing on, the positive, your new house, your new job, all this amazing stuff. And when you put that out into the universe, it'll bounce it right back to you. And congratulations. I am so happy to hear that you're doing so well. Jules, you crack me up. All right, Lotus girl. And then clean up and Betty bye. No sooner had it touched his tongue than he heard a strange whispering of little voices outside of his window. He went and listened and then noticed that it was the sparrows who were chattering together and telling one another of all kinds of things which they had seen in the fields and woods. Eating the snake had given him power of understanding and the language of animals, Jeez. In this tale, the king has all knowledge due to a white snake, brought to him each evening in a dish by a faithful servant. But one day, the servant peeks below the lid of the dish and sees the snake. He takes a bite of its flesh, and at that moment, all the knowledge in the world becomes available to him. He speaks all languages, understands all things, and hears without limits or restraints. Simultaneously, the queen loses her most treasured ring, and the faithful servant is suspected of having stolen it, as he is the only soul who has permission to enter the queen's chamber. He is brought before the king and told that unless he can name the villain, he will be executed the next day. But gifted as he is with the language of all things, he hears a duck speaking of a heavy stomach and knows this creature has swallowed the precious ring. The duck is roasted for dinner and the ring is found. The servant is not only forgiven, the king grants him a favor as an offering to make amends. On he goes, and in time it is the language of the animals that brings him great good fortune. That and his empathy and kindness, for now he can understand the animals. He knows they too love life and wish only to avoid suffering. He saves fish and ants and ravens, making great sacrifices to care for the wild ones about him. On his own feet, he finally ventures forth and finds that a king's daughter is being offered to the man who can perform a seemingly impossible task. He sees the woman, the daughter of the king, and falls so deeply in love, he steps forward and takes up the challenge without a thought for his life, for he loves, and deeply so. So a golden ring is flung into the deepest ocean, and the servant is told to bring it back. If he does not, he will be drowned within the waters holding the lost ring. But the fish he once saved brings him a mussel with the ring inside of it, and he is saved. Only the princess will not have him till he passes yet another test. She throws 1,000 grains into a field and demands that they must be picked up by dawn. And the ants he helped bring forth the grains, and not a one lay upon the earth. But she demands one more thing, although a grudging respect and awe had dawned in her cold heart. She says she will marry him when he brings her an apple from the tree of life itself. As he wandered and became lost, but 3 ravens bring him the apple, and he offers this to the princess. She takes it from him, her cold heart thawing, cuts it into 2 with a sharp little knife, and they each one eat half and fall deeply in love. True love, there are no more excuses. They live together until they are very old, and their children cry again and again for the story of how they met and wed each other. When this card comes to you, you may have recently experienced a time when you felt people seem distant, unemotional, and lacking in warmth. But if you continue to do the right and good thing, you will soon find that there will be a breakthrough moment. There will also be a time soon when all the groundwork you have done in a relationship will suddenly become worth it. You are going to be able to change people's lives and help their hearts heal from the frost that can settle around a wound. You are in many ways the healer of the wounded heart, and soon you will see how true this is. So, Lotus Girl, knowing so much of your personal situation, I will just say that you are coming out of your dark night of the soul. Don't become, embittered. Don't become, don't act outside of who you really are in your heart. And so far, with everything you've been through, you haven't done that. You're still super kind and patient and understanding. You still help everyone around you before you help yourself, even when you're at your most physically ill, right? This is the universe telling you, keep that up for a little while longer and you will not regret it. You won't be disappointed. And in fact, you're going to be so incredibly rewarded that it's going to be like this whole new chapter and or path in your life coming out of this incredibly long dark night of the soul. Guys, I love you all. I will see you all, I hope, on Monday, this coming Monday, December 5th. And that is from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, where Ghost Dragons and I will be live on this channel discussing whatever topics we bring to the table. All right. Love and light. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.